Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we attack the GOAT debate head on, where we challenge all Michael Jordan fans and all LeBron detractors to who is the GOAT of basketball. You can catch us every Sunday noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and Ajani. Also, we go live Friday nights with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where you catch special shows and content as a GOAT James Kingdom follower and subscriber. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, where you can get exclusive content.
Tone of this game could be set very early. Pippen to the hoop, gets the low intensity. If they relax, perhaps they can help them play a better game. Pippen makes it 8-6.
Scottie Pippen is shooting the ball so well.
There's the offense that Pippen has brought to this team. Outside, inside, slashing into the paint. Barkley controlled by Grant to Scottie Pippen against Mahorn. What a beautiful change of direction by Pippen. He got Barkley, he got Mahorn going left and then took it right down the lanes. This Bulls team, as we mentioned in our open, has been barely challenged versus Pippen. He'll go to the post. Look at that move. A little bit reminiscent, and I'm getting in high cotton here, of Dr. J. At range. Bulls by one. Pippen hasn't missed. He is 7 out of 7.
360, 180, whatever you want, he's giving to you tonight on the dunk.
Cole got the offensive board, couldn't stick it back up. Purdue with a big chance for Pippen. Phil Jackson told me before the game, I asked him what he thought the biggest difference in this Bulls offense was this year compared to last year in the playoff, and he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard. Phil Jackson told me before the game, I asked him what he thought the biggest difference in this Bulls offense was this year compared to last year in the playoff, and he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard. And he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
And he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
Pippen James over Manute Bol. He is 8 out of 8, has 16 points and 4 assists.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. Welcome. I am Ajani the Exposer, and y'all have now been exposed by the Exposer. I appreciate it. And enjoy. I am called Ajani the Exposer. You guys are being exposed today.
Your opinion, I guess.
Move on from it. It was the 90s. That's it, bro. Move on from that. You don't know history. You don't know basketball. You just told me I'm stupid. But look how stupid you look because you don't know basketball. You don't know history. You don't know jamming. You don't know schematics. You don't know coaching. You don't know scouting. You don't know drafting. You don't know nothing but that Michael Jordan's great because the media said do that. So told you to say that. I know that is recorded, and you are officially being exposed by the Exposer, and you're going to sit there like a man and take this just like Buddy did 2 weeks ago.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Hey, get your numbers out. I had to get my numbers out.
Omar. Yeah. Omar coming, yo. Omar coming, yo. Omar coming. Come on. Get out of here, yo. Omar coming. Put that shit down. Say Omar coming, yo. Somebody is coming now. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. I'm your host, Ajani the Exposer, one half of the GOAT James Kingdom platform where we talk basketball every day of the week, but basketball lives forever. I want y'all to first of all, I want to thank y'all for coming up here on a Friday night again with me to enjoy another great Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where we're going to be discussing Scottie Pippen's greatness and why I have Scottie Pippen ahead of Dwyane Wade and also in my top 20.
20. I also see my boy Herm in the background. I'll bring you up shortly, Herm. Once I get my presentation going, you'll be able to come up. All GOAT James Kingdom members already have access to tonight's show on the GOAT James Kingdom community right here on the YouTube channel. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to become a member of the GOAT James Kingdom channel, where you have access to exclusive shows and exclusive content like tonight's program. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ajani the Exposer. I am coming live to you right off the GOAT James Kingdom platform, also on FYF Sports Debate platform. I know Lamont's live right now arguing with a bunch of Zesty Jeffreys about Kobe. They're all upset. Basketball is supposedly over. It's supposed to be off season, but the internet is on fire. T-Mac, Gilbert Arenas, Stephen A. Smith conversation last week has sparked an entire week worth of content for all of us content creators. But I will continue the segue and move on to the new part of this segue, which is the sidekick talk. In reality, no one want to accept the sidekick talk. So tonight we'll be talking about two other sidekicks in Scottie Pippen and Dwyane Wade, and we'll be breaking all of that down here again. We're also going live, though, just want to make sure people understand this. We're also live on IG as well. So shout out to everybody that's watching us on the IG GOAT James Kingdom channel. And also, like I said, you can follow us on TikTok, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're all over the place. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. I'm Ajani the Exposer. I want to thank you guys for having some fun with me tonight, and we're gonna have some fun again. I see some of you guys are in the comments already. Peace and blessings. What's good, Deshaun? I see you in the building. I got some GJK members in the building. What's good?
LeBron James.
All right, let's give some more shit out here. Asante got that. Okay, I see you, Asante. I see you in the building. Shout out, peace to you, Wayne Gant. What's good? Peace and blessings.
LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James.
Okay, y'all already know what's going on. Shout out to Adrian Knight. What's up, Ajani? It's hard to tell because both were important in order for LeBron and Jordan to win, but I give Wade individually a slight edge, even though I like Pippen more because he won as the number one guy. But again, that's what we're here to discuss. This number one conversation is exactly why we're here to have this conversation today, because we love to talk about all of that. Peace and blessings, Duke. You don't got your badge, brother. You don't have your badge. You got to have your badge. You got to show up. You got to have your badge. Come on now. What's good, though? Peace and blessings, brother. What's good? Y'all make sure that if y'all are GOAT James Kingdom members, come to the GJK channel to watch tonight's program. I know we are multi-streaming on Lamont's channel. He had y'all fired up already and all upset about this. But again, tonight's program will be about Scottie Pippen, and the disrespect of Scottie Pippen does stop right here in GJK. Because we do not accept it. We hear all this talk about Scottie Pippen. They keep disrespecting Scottie Pippen's name. They keep disrespecting what he's done for the game of basketball. And I don't understand why. Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and he should be top 20 with the amount of championships that he has won. I don't think nobody who's won as much championships as him and contributed to the game of basketball as much as him is not in the top 20. You can't name me somebody who has more All-NBAs, more All-Defensive selections and championships that's not in the top 20 with Scottie Pippen. That's the point. He should be in the top 20. But you guys see that they don't know Scottie Pippen's career from the intro. If you didn't see the intro, Scottie Pippen was a baller. He was good on both sides of the ball. And the key factor of it is that they say Scottie Pippen has no offensive game. His game is horrible on the offensive side. Again, the disrespect for Scottie Pippen has to stop. And he is definitely a top 20 player all time, not to mention he's better than Dwyane Wade. I'm sorry to say it. As big as of a Miami Heat fan as I am, Dwyane Wade definitely let me down plenty of times and could have been way better of a basketball player if he really wanted to do that. But again, he won the 3 championships. He has the accolades and all the achievements to show that he's a Hall of Famer without a doubt. So I'm not taking that away from none of them. But at the end of the day, both of those guys were sidekicks for all of their rings. And you guys try to take Dwyane Wade and make him separated from Scottie Pippen as if Dwyane Wade won championships as some lead dog, like y'all say, the number one option, right? That's what y'all would love to say. That's how y'all like to pronounce these silliness about these players. But that doesn't happen here in GOAT James Kingdom. We talk basketball correctly. Y'all know that. Peace and blessings. Ishmael.
LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James.
Another GJK member, always shout out to y'all. Darnell Heitch is in the building. In my opinion, Scottie Pippen is a top 5 90s player. So without a doubt, he's a top 5 90s player. Without a doubt, he's a top 5 90s players. If we look at the best 90s players in NBA history, Scottie Pippen fits right there alongside all of those guys. You can't deny it. He fits right alongside all of them. These are the guys who have 7 or more All-NBAs. Remember, I always told y'all about the All-NBA selections. This is where Scottie Pippen fits at in this particular scene here. And when we're talking about the top of the top in the 90s, he is up there. The disrespect for Scottie Pippen will stop here in GOAT James Kingdom. It will definitely stop for him. This is what Scottie was doing in the 90s. This is what he was doing. But what you guys will do is you will discredit him because he played alongside the guy at the far on the far left, bottom left. That's how you guys do it. You discredit players, but you won't discredit Dwyane Wade. I can guarantee you right now, Dwyane Wade don't have the most All NBAs in the 2000s. He definitely doesn't have them in the 2010s. But that's the All NBA selections. We all know Scottie Pippen is known for his defense. And if we look at Scottie Pippen and the thing about Scottie is they only want to recognize him for his defense. They don't want to recognize Scottie Pippen for how good he was as an offensive player, for revolutionizing his position. They don't want to give Scottie Pippen credit for that. And he revolutionized his position on the offensive side of the ball, not on the defensive side of the ball. But we all know Scottie Pippen is definitely top notch on defense. He's one of the greatest defenders of all time. But if you look at all the greatest defenders of all time who are top 5 in all defensive selections, and even top 5 in all defensive first team selections, the guys who have 7 All NBAs to reflect how good they are overall and how good they are as a player shows you this. None of these players here that you see on the left side are considered players who have no offensive game. They're not two-way players. So in reality, Scottie Pippen is a two-way player. To discredit Scottie's offensive ability because he was as great as he was on the defensive side and because he played alongside Michael Jordan and played his role alongside Michael Jordan is why you guys are going to get exposed tonight trying to disrespect Scottie Pippen. Because like I said before, you're not going to find no guy who's considered an all defensive type player have the type of offensive presence that Scottie Pippen has. As you can see, the guys who are the top defensive players who have the amount of all NBA selections that Scottie Pippen have are all offensive guys as well. You're not going to call none of these guys non-offensive. So why is Scottie Pippen considered non-offensive? You guys are discrediting a legend amongst all legends. This is the class of Scottie Pippen. You cannot take that away from Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was a brilliant player on the offensive side of the ball. He was the reason why the triangle offense was able to work for the Chicago Bulls. You heard it in the intro of it. If you missed the intro, I'll play the intro for you again. And we're going to watch Scottie Pippen at his finest, in his prime, helping the Chicago Bulls come across their first NBA championship.
Tone of this game could be set very early. Pippen to the hoop, gets the low intensity. If they relax, perhaps they can help them play a better game. Pippen makes it 8-6.
Scottie Pippen is shooting the ball so well.
There's the offense that Pippen has brought to this team. Outside, inside, slashing into the paint. Barkley controlled by Grant to Scottie Pippen against Mahorn. What a beautiful change of direction by Pippen. He got Mahorn going left and then took it right down the lane. This Bulls team, as we mentioned in our open, has been barely challenged versus Pippen. He'll go to the post. Look at that move. A little bit reminiscent, and I'm getting in high cotton here, of Dr. J. At range. Bulls by 1. Pippen hasn't missed. He is 7 out of 7.
360, 180, whatever you want, he's giving to you tonight on the dunk.
Cole got the offensive board, couldn't stick it back up. Purdue with a big jam for Pippen. Phil Jackson told me before the game, I asked him what he thought the biggest difference in this Bulls offense was this year compared to last year in the playoff, and he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
Now pay attention.
Told me before the game, I asked him what he thought the biggest difference in this Bulls offense was this year compared to last year in the playoff, and he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard. And he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
And he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
Pippen James over Manute Bol. He is 8 out of 8, has 16 points and 4 assists.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's Scottie Pippen dunking over Manute Bol, one of the best defenders in the NBA at that time, going ham in an NBA playoff game for the Chicago Bulls, scoring, doing everything. He was just that good of a player across the board. Oh, it didn't stop there. Scottie Pippen had more. And he's going to go in. Now, mind you, he's being guarded by Charles Barkley here, ladies and gentlemen, who y'all think is better than Scottie Pippen. And watch what he does to prime Charles Barkley.
Steals the rebound. Here he goes again. Pippen finally is denied the basket, but they're on their feet at Chicago Stadium for Scottie Pippen. Good production for the day. Pippen's first miss, and then he follows it up. Barkley denies him the lane. Pippen hits the three.
May 14th, 1991, Scottie Pippen night in Chicago. 24 points now on the night.
Career first half. He hasn't cooled off any.
Barkley underneath the screen, the horn back. Little 17-foot jump shot. Scottie's burying it. There's an off guard. Michael Jordan almost is a small forward. Pippen is on.
Y'all see him cooking Barkley. Y'all see him cooking Barkley.
This year from last year is the fact that you can take the ball and create offense and dominate a game offensively enough to cause all kinds of problems. How do you feel when you were in that zone in the first half and were at 1 point 9 out of 9 from the floor?
Well, I felt real good. My rhythm was real down, real nice. I was able to drive to the basket and get the stuff. And, you know, everything was real working for me real well. The guys were setting picks, and, I mean, it opened up the game for us, basically.
Oh, for sure it did open up the game for you. You heard what he said. How does it feel when the coach tells you that we can go to you so that you can set off the offense for the team? So that you can go off with the offense and set the team up and do all the things that you be doing. Right? He ended up with 28 points in that game. He would have had more if it was, obviously, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan sitting around here hogging the ball. And again, shout out to Peter Bagjuice. Peter Bagjuice, he says, yeah, we're going to get some Wade highlights. Why? You already said Dwyane Wade is a baller. There's no argument there. I'm going to show you what Scottie Pippen was doing because you were one of the main ones saying Scottie Pippen wasn't doing nothing offensively for the Bulls. Just like the rest of the Zesty Jeffreys who sit here believe that there is no strategy to stop Scottie Pippen because he's the second option, but want to sit here and tell us that there was some kind of defensive strategy to stop Kobe Bryant as a second option. This is what you want to tell me? I can show you highlights of what Dwyane Wade was doing with Shaquille O'Neal. I can show you his highlights what he's doing with LeBron James. That's how he's winning championships, being the sidekick, not being the main guy. The same thing as Scottie Pippen. The same thing as Scottie Pippen. But don't get it confused. Scottie Pippen's not done explaining, and he's been doing this for a while. Y'all know I done showed y'all him representing for the Chicago Bulls on the offensive side of the ball, controlling the actual game, the tempo of the game, making the Chicago Bulls team look good. That's what Scottie Pippen does. But let's let Doug Collins, his ex-coach, explain to you how he knew Scottie Pippen could do all of this.
Here's the guy who coached you when you were first into the league, and we've seen a great deal of change in your game, improvement in your game, and maturity. Doug, what about the fact of the distance this young man's traveled?
Well, you know, I always felt Scottie Pippen was a big game player. I remember Game 5, I did not tell him he was going to start the game, the deciding game against Cleveland. In here, my second year coaching, Scottie was a rookie, he had 26 points in the final game. So the one difference I see, Scottie, is, you know, you're taking the ball to the basket with such authority, but you're confident shooting that outside jump shot. You see teams going to make a change and try to trap you to prevent you from getting that easy shot.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, I felt like that was the weak point of my game going into this season was my jump shot. And I feel like once I get that open up for me, it will make a big difference for me.
You know, the one thing that you do so well, Scottie, there's so many things out there, but when you rebound the basketball and you can turn and push it out, you give your team such an advantage. Paxson can now run out and be a shooter. Michael can get out, and it creates all kinds of problems.
Well, yeah, I think that made us a major threat in this series because Barkley not able to hold me and guard me the full court. So it made a big difference with the court wide open, and I was able to create.
You heard him saying how teams are now trapping him. They have to worry about him on the offensive side, how he's creating for Jordan, making it easier for guys. You watch him give a pass to Purdue. Purdue didn't have to do nothing. Purdue looked like he belonged in the NBA with that dunk. How many dunks you think Purdue had in his life in the NBA? Yeah, a lot of them was because Scottie Pippen was giving him a perfect pass, putting him in the right position, right in the pocket, so he can dunk it. These are the things that you guys don't want to talk about when we talk about Scottie Pippen. Adrian Knight, are you also going to show highlights of Wade? Let's be fair. Be fair for what? We know Dwyane Wade was a baller. Y'all said it. He's obviously one of the best scorers in all time in NBA history. We got to show you guys how Scottie was on the offensive side because you guys refuse to accept Scottie's greatness on the offensive side. You refuse to accept the fact that Scottie actually willed the Bulls into championship games and winning playoff games and crucial games on top of that. You heard him say he had to start him in the 5. You heard Coach Collins say, I had to start Scottie Pippen in game 5. And what happened when he started Scottie Pippen in game 5? Scottie Pippen's first playoff start in NBA history, he was the player of the game. He was the player of the game. He was the player of the game. He was the reason why the Bulls won that game. Don't let me bring up the highlights of that game because I got that for all you Zesty Jeffreys who want to argue with me about Scottie Pippen today. But Scottie Pippen has always been a baller. Always stepped up for the Bulls. Always. Not just on the defensive side, but actually as somebody who can run the triangle offense for the Bulls. He's the reason why the triangle offense worked. You heard the guy say it. Phil Jackson said it. The difference between the Bulls in 1990 and 1991 in the playoffs was Scottie Pippen's ability to be their point guard, meaning their main ball facilitator, set up their offense, get everybody involved, including Michael Jordan, getting Michael Jordan in the right spots at the right time. John Paxson can get involved. Bill Cartwright can get involved. Horace Grant can get involved. B.J. Armstrong can get involved. Stacey King can get involved. Cliff Livingston can get involved. Because Scottie Pippen is dishing out these passes or setting up the offense, calling the right plays, doing the right thing in transition, doing all of the great things that Scottie Pippen did on the offensive side of the ball. But y'all don't want to give Scottie no credit for being a great offensive player. That's what you guys don't want to do. And I have to keep reminding you about Scottie Pippen's greatness. Because like I said, he's been doing it for a while. This is like he didn't just start doing it. That's, again, I showed you 88. I showed you 91. In 1992, game 6, Scottie Pippen is 11 of 23 from the field, 29 points, matching Michael Jordan, and a 99-94 victory. Why nobody wants to talk about Scottie Pippen? If that was Kobe Bryant with Shaq, it would be, oh my God, he carried Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was 10 of 27 from the field in a game 6. Eastern Conference Finals. In the Eastern Conference Finals just the next year, a game 3, a pivotal games. The Bulls are down 0-2, ladies and gentlemen. And who steps up in a crucial game 3 for the Chicago Bulls offensively? Not Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen. Again, 1993. Eastern Conference Finals, same series. Who steps up for the Chicago Bulls? Michael Jordan takes 24 shots to score 25 points. Scottie Pippen puts up 24 points. Just one more point less. And the Bulls get another victory and end that series. 1995, round 1, game 4. Same scenario. Jordan, 8 of 21. Scottie Pippen, 9 of 15. The Bulls win by 1 point. This would be an instantly Kobe carried Shaq moment, but not for you Zesty Jeffreys when it comes to Scottie Pippen. You guys don't know Scottie Pippen's greatness. Oh, what did he do in the finals? Let's not forget in the game clinching win for the 1991 finals, Scottie Pippen was the leading scorer for the Chicago Bulls. Let's not forget that. So that's 91 finals. If we go to the 1996 finals games 2, Scottie Pippen puts up 21 points, 8 of 16 from the field. Jordan has to put 22 attempts to get the 29 points. But again, that's Scottie Pippen's scoring in an NBA where it was hard to score. You see the score, 92-88. Scottie Pippen's 21 points is there. He's doing what he has to do as the sidekick, not just on the defensive side, but on the offensive side. If we go down again, 1997, game 1, NBA Finals, Scottie Pippen, 11 of 19 from the field, 27 points. Michael Jordan had 31 points on 27 field goal attempts. Scottie, the Bulls win by 2. Scottie, on the offensive side. 1998, NBA Finals, game 2. Jordan is 14 of 33, ladies and gentlemen. To score 37 points, Jordan needed 33 shots. Scottie Pippen, I got you. I'll take the back seat and score 21 points on 13 shots. I'll do that. Do y'all see a common occurring theme here? A reoccurring theme here with the Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan scenarios? When y'all saying Scottie Pippen did not have the offensive ability, this is the Robin effect. If this was Kobe, this is Kobe carrying Shaq. 1998 NBA Finals, Game 4, 4-point victory for the Bulls. Jordan goes takes 27 shots for 34 points. Scottie Pippen's 9 of 18 for 28 points in an NBA Finals game, putting up 28 points while being limited on how many shots he can take. This is what Scottie Pippen was doing on the offensive side of the ball. But you guys only want to give Scottie Pippen credit for his defensive side. You want to act like he's a Dennis Rodman. You want to act like he's a Michael Cooper. You want to disrespect Scottie Pippen and not realize how brilliant Scottie Pippen was. And yeah, we know how great Dwyane Wade was. This is not the argument that Dwyane Wade wasn't great. Shout out to you as well. King John is in the building.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Oh, I don't know if y'all noticed I got a new soundboard. GOAT James Kingdom members, we got a new soundboard. The Zesty. Shout out to them all.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Shout out to you, Iron Man. Peace and blessings, brother. We are here having some fun tonight. Herm, thanks for being patient, brother. We're going to have some fun. I'm almost done. In fact, we're going to have even some more fun when I bring up you GJK members, because y'all know we are about to do the Which is the Better Player segment, which is coming up very shortly here, ladies and gentlemen. Very shortly. So we about to have some fun up in here. We about to have some fun. Let's have some fun. Shout out to you, Just Blaze. Peace and blessings. So we're here talking Scottie Pippen, and it got to stop here. So let's get back to the topic, right? This is what Scottie Pippen did for the Bulls as a Bulls player. But during those finals runs, Scottie Pippen did everything for the Chicago Bulls besides score. Now, this is not him being the leader of these categories, but this is him doing more than Michael Jordan. And if you look on the top left of this factor right here, that's all postseasons together between Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. That's their totals and their averages on the left side. The totals on the top, averages on the bottom. They played the same amount of games. Well, no, they did play different amount of games, around this span. But if we go between the 6 final seasons runs between 1991, 92, and 93, 96, 97, and 98, if we just count those playoffs alone, Scottie Pippen obviously averaged more rebounds, assists, blocks, steals than Michael Jordan. And they played the same amount of games. So it wasn't like Scottie Pippen was just doing nothing. He wasn't just on the defensive side and everything was on Jordan to score. Those are all lies. And I'm glad to expose them here on a Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. Because I'm tired of you guys sitting here disrespecting Scottie Pippen and making it seem like Scottie Pippen is not one of the greatest offensive players, not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, he's great. He was one of the best players in the 90s. The era that they loved the most. Yes, Jordan did disrespect Scottie. Why you think Scottie is upset with Jordan? Yes. He did say he couldn't win without him, but then he goes out and make a 10-hour documentary disrespecting the entire team. Jordan talks out of both sides of his mouth just like his fan base does. And that's just the facts. Jordan is also a role player. Jordan's role was to score. Everybody on the basketball court has a role. Everyone has a role. It doesn't diminish. It doesn't diminish anything. But that's y'all problem. And then when y'all want to bring up the idea of Dwyane Wade and blah, 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 well, it doesn't matter. Scottie Pippen is better than Dwyane Wade. He does more on the basketball court than Dwyane Wade does on the basketball court. It's just that simple. He just is not allowed to score because he's playing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's not letting him score. Michael Jordan's not letting him go off. Scottie Pippen in the game that we just watched, that we just showed for the intro, had 28 points, and he would have had way much more points if Michael Jordan's not stopping him. He was on fire. No, the documentary was not factual. A lot of the Bulls teammates all said it was not factual. It was based on a lot of lies. It was predicated on Michael Jordan's perspective. We all agree that The Last Dance was predicated on Michael Jordan's perspective of what happened on the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls organizations have no problems with Scottie Pippen. I never heard of that, Asante. He had problems with Jerry Krause because he felt like Jerry Krause snubbed him on his contract deal. And he did. So he had legitimate beef. Kevin Love was not on Scottie Pippen's level. Ever was he on Scottie Pippen's level. Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players to ever play. Again, you guys got to remember whatever they played in. He played in the 90s. You put Kevin Love in the 90s, he'll dominate as well because that's the 90s. But Scottie Pippen played it in the 90s. Kevin Love didn't. He played in the 2010s where there was a bunch of players better than Kevin Love. A bunch of players better than Kevin Love. There wasn't a bunch of players better than Scottie Pippen in the 90s. So Scottie is better than Kevin Love. You got to stop it. I just gave y'all some stuff. But just in case y'all didn't realize something, and like I showed y'all, I already showed it to you guys, right? Scottie Pippen is better than Dwyane Wade. These are Scottie Pippen's career numbers. They played the same amount of NBA seasons in reality. Scottie Pippen played an extra season and played only 20 games in that season to be a Chicago Bull as he retired. But either way, Dwyane Wade played 16 seasons. Scottie Pippen played 17 seasons. It's not that big of a difference. Scottie Pippen's been to the playoffs more than Dwyane Wade. He's accomplished more than Dwyane Wade. He's done more than Dwyane Wade. And I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, that's just the totals. You're always bringing up longevity stats, right? Now this is longevity stats. That's why I want to know, when does longevity stats apply? Because Dwyane Wade played 16 seasons. Scottie Pippen played 17 seasons. When does it apply? Scottie Pippen was that dude. He really was. See, look, now you want to find ways to discredit Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan not willing to shoot the ball in a crucial Game 5 of an NBA playoffs in 1989 is also something that is factual, but you won't hold that against Michael Jordan. Jordan fouling out of a playoff game so that he doesn't have to play because his team is getting their butts kicked and he'd rather sit on the bench and not finish out the game and just fouls out. Y'all won't bring that up about Michael Jordan, but you want to discredit Scottie Pippen. Oh, this topic was actually one of the first topics we did on GOAT James Kingdom 3 years ago. I did this exact topic on Scottie Pippen because I got tired of people telling me that Scottie Pippen was this and that, and they didn't know Scottie Pippen's career. They didn't understand it. They didn't. They really didn't understand it. But Scottie Pippen is a baller amongst all ballers. But now the question goes is he really better than Dwyane Wade? Yes, he's better than Dwyane Wade. The only reason you guys say that he wasn't better than Dwyane Wade is because for some reason you guys think Dwyane Wade won a championship without being a sidekick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to prove to you that Dwyane Wade won a championship and all of his championships as a sidekick. I was here in Miami when Shaquille O'Neal came to Miami. And without a doubt, Dwyane Wade was a sidekick to Shaquille O'Neal. But don't let me be the one to tell you this. The man said we're going to call him Flash, which means that Shaq is the top dog. He's naming people. He's out here giving people nicknames. I ain't never heard no alpha dog get called a nickname by one of his teammates, and that's what we're running with. We see who the alpha dog is. I was there. I witnessed that. I remember Shaquille O'Neal coming down here. I remember telling people Shaquille was the only, Miami was the only place Shaquille can go. We were the only team that had what was good enough for what the Lakers needed for a Shaquille O'Neal. And we gave up some good pieces. We gave up a good Caron Butler, a good Lamar Odom, some good draft picks, and even more stuff on top of it, to add it on top of it. And like they said, Dwyane Wade was his sidekick. They added players to the roster because of Shaquille O'Neal. They added a bunch of veterans on the roster in 2006 for Shaquille O'Neal and to win an NBA championship. Dwyane Wade, as a second-year, third-year player, was not no leader or alpha dog of any veteran locker room in the NBA with Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, a bunch of players who've been in the league way longer than Dwyane Wade. So don't even go there. So Dwyane Wade won championships as a sidekick. Peace and blessings. Appreciate this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's not rage bait. This is facts. You're upset because you didn't know Scottie Pippen was doing all of this. And now you're mad that Dwyane Wade was a sidekick, but you don't want to call him a sidekick because of what points being scored. All because Shaq said, okay, you can score that. And I got the footage to prove you that Shaq said, yeah, Dwyane Wade, you can go off for 30 if you need to. That's my point. Michael Jordan never told Scottie, yo, you can go off for 30 if you need to tonight, bro. I see you got it. I got footage of Rip Hamilton saying Jordan wouldn't let him go for 50 when he had 30 at half. So now we're supposed to praise Jordan for not letting his teammate score 30 while knocking Shaq for letting his teammate score 30. And then y'all claim y'all care about winning. It's not about winning. It's about stats for y'all. And in particular, it's about scoring stats. That's the most important part. That's why I had to bring it up for you. That's why I had to remind you of Scottie Pippen's scoring ability, his offensive prowess. He wasn't a pedestrian on offense. He was why the Chicago Bulls triangle offense could actually work because the true leader of the team didn't even want to run the offense. Everybody else on the Bulls loved the triangle offense because they realized they would get opportunities to shoot the ball now. The only one who didn't like it was Michael Jordan. So for the triangle to work, it took who? The sidekick to make it work so the rest of the players can do it. Not Jordan. Even to the fact that it took the sidekick to make Jordan accept it. No, I'm not doing that, Adrian. You're not going to get me to do that, Adrian. Because I said this on Chill Towns Live this morning. That championships are championships. What separate players are not championships is their production. It's their accolades, their stats, and achievements. That's what separates Scottie Pippen from Michael Jordan, not the rings. Every player rings equals the same. Nobody has a ring more valuable than the next. Everyone on a championship team gets a ring and is called a champion. What separates a player off the bench from the player that starts is their stats, their production, what they do on the floor. Michael Jordan produced more than Scottie Pippen did. But Scottie Pippen wasn't no lame. He did his part. He did his role. He had a very large portion and part of why the Chicago Bulls were who they were on both sides of the ball. And you and I talked about this. There was really no replacing Scottie Pippen. There's just certain players in NBA history who you cannot replace. You cannot replace a Shaquille O'Neal. You cannot replace a Joker. You cannot replace a LeBron James. You cannot replace a Wilt Chamberlain. You cannot replace a Michael Jordan unless you get a Kobe Bryant. But even at that, you still don't have a Michael Jordan. So these are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not hating. Jordan is one of the greatest players ever played. He's number 5. Scottie's like 18 or 19th on my list. So that shows you the gap between Scottie and Mike. Because of Mike's production, what Mike did. So don't come up here and get upset because Scottie Pippen's great. This is what y'all want to do now. When I ask y'all, how does Tracy McGrady prevent Shaquille O'Neal from winning 3 championships, you guys bring up non-basketball terms. Just had a guy on FYF tell me fourth quarter stats, clutch points, all this stuff, realizing Tracy McGrady has that. If you talk basketball, you don't get exposed. When you go to other stuff, you will get exposed. That's just the facts. Those are all the facts. So when we're here, when you show up on a Friday Night Exposure, just know you got to talk basketball and nothing else. And nothing else. There's nothing else to discuss. I'm here to have some fun. So let's move on and get some of you guys up here so we can have some fun, because I already know I got Herm in the background. Herm's been very patient. Appreciate that, Herm. Thank you so much. I know you're going to like this next part of the show because we're going to have some fun with the next part of the show. And then when y'all get up, y'all can come talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, including tonight's program and what we're talking about for tonight's program. But what I do want to do is, though, I do want to do this segment because y'all had so much fun with it last week. We got to do it this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you up, Herm. Peace and blessings, Herm. What's good, brother?
Salute to you.
Yeah. So, Herm, we about to have some fun. I'm glad you shut up and you left that diatribe going on over there on FYF Sports Debate, right?
You already know.
But we about to have some fun. I'm gonna let you cook. Shout out to you as a GOAT James Kingdom member. I'm sorry, sir. As a GOAT James Kingdom member, you do get this salute.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron
James. But we about to have some fun, Herm. Are y'all ready to do this? Let's find out which player is the better player, Herm. Are you ready for this, Herm?
Let's get it, man.
Let's get it. All right, so let's get our first group of guys up here. This is the first set of guys. I'm not going to do too many guys this week because I want to make sure we have this for a while now, all right? Who's the better player? Which player is the better player? One of these guys is a champion. One of these guys is not a champion. We got a guy averaging 15, 9, and 2, 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA player, or the guy that averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, and just about 4 assists per game, who's a 7-time All-Star and 1-time All-NBA. Herm, who would you select here? Who's the better player?
And give me the guy to the left, man. The 15 and 9, man. Give me 15 and 9.
The 15 and 9, man. Shout out to you with that one. That's what's up. Oh, there we go. Waiting for my little clapper thing to show up. How you like my new soundboard, Herm? It sounds good.
That's a good one. That's a good one, man.
We got some good ones. And trust me, I got some good ones for y'all, man. Let's see what y'all saying in the comments. Which player are y'all selecting right here? Which player is the better player? Remember, one is an NBA champion, one is not an NBA champion. Which player are you going with? Right? And while we try to get some selections here, Herm, go ahead and chime in on tonight's topic, and obviously you can also chime in on what Lamont was talking about because it's still a hot topic with Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant as well.
To start out with, Lamont was saying if he would have let me back in, he knew why he didn't want to do that for one, because he know he was gonna get cooked when he started doing those fourth quarter numbers.
Mm-hmm.
End of the day with those fourth quarter numbers, and then there were those fourth quarter numbers with T-Mac. T-Mac was terrible in those fourth quarters in this playoff run. You could go to the Orlando Magic era, the 2001 versus the Bucks. In that game 4, he went 2 for 7 in the fourth quarter, missing a lot of pivotal shots, and they got eliminated 3-1. In 2003, game 5, game 6, and game 7. He fell short in those fourth quarters. In game 5, he just played bad, period, with the 19 points. In game 6, he only had 6 points in the fourth quarter. Even though he had 37 points, but in the fourth quarter, he cooled down. Game 7, he was 7 for 24 from the field, 21 points. He was terrible in the fourth quarter, missing a lot of key shots. When you go to his Houston era, in that first round versus Dallas, in that game 7, that man went 2 for 6 in the fourth quarter, even though it was a blowout. But just for that series, he had 10 field goal attempts in the last 5 minutes, less than 5-point games. He shot 37% from the field. His net rating was a negative 2.7. He struggled. He didn't make the playoffs in 2006. 2007, in game 7 against the Utah Jazz, the nigga scored 1 point in the fourth quarter, going 0 for 4 from the field. And Houston blew a 5-point lead to lose the series game 7 against a young Utah Jazz led by Darren Williams. In 2008, they went against Utah again. He didn't come through in the last closing minutes in the game, even though he dropped 40. But in that fourth quarter, he struggled again. And they didn't come through Utah again in the game 7. So he got a history of, despite of putting great scoring outputs, for some reason late in games. A lot of people say it was due to playing the minutes that he was playing, because he was a guy that would play like 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. He'll cool down late in games. He get very tired late in games for the most part. So he do have a lot of fourth quarter struggles. With the Lakers, the thing is, in those fourth quarter moments when they needed big shots for the most part, Kobe Bryant did come through for them, like 2002. Especially in the Kings and Spurs series. In the Spurs series, Kobe averaged 33 a game. That whole series was very impressive, was efficient, and he was dominant. In the Western Conference Finals against the Kings, he actually averaged 35 in the series. You got to look at it. Shaq was in a particular was in bad situations that the Kings and the Spurs both was exposing them to pick and roll situations. So Shaq, he's a guy though. He's not gonna allow easy shots. So he'll foul the shit out of you. He gonna foul you hard. So he was in foul trouble early in a lot of those games that Kobe had to carry. So Kobe did carry. And when guys, this is what I hate too, in the month, and a lot of people do this a lot. A lot of people skip the 2004 when it comes down to the Lakers debacle. But the Lakers really debacled in 2003 when they lost to the Spurs in the Western Conference semifinals to end their three-peat. A lot of people snooze over that. In that series against the Spurs, Shaq averaged 25 points per game, low for his standards in the playoffs because Shaq clearly is a dominant force. Tim Duncan clearly outplayed him from start to finish in that six-game series against the Lakers in 2003 that a lot of people do forget. And Shaq was in foul trouble a lot due to the fact that the Spurs exposed him to pick and roll actions. So Kobe actually was the guy that was leading the way in that series, averaging over 31 points per game in 2003. But Shaq struggled mightily because he was hobbled most of the year. He wasn't in tip-top shape because he was having off and on injuries that year in 2003. Came in out of shape, got hurt within trying to get in shape, but then he tried to come back in the playoff run. But Tim Duncan was on a mission, clearly outplayed him, and that's why the Spurs eliminated the Lakers in '03. So people skip the '04 because they like to ignore what happened in '03, the year that actually ended their three-peat. So it's a lot of different things that a lot of people ignore and don't like to touch on when it comes to this Kobe Bryant situation. But the main thing that people do forget is the intangibles aspect of basketball. Certain guys lack certain intangibles. If Vince Carter actually had the work ethic and actually had to want to get better and stay in the gym, Vince Carter probably would have been the best player in the generation. But Vince then lacked the urgency to put in the work like that. So in some situations, Vince Carter had a lot of knick-knack injuries, kept getting hurt because he wasn't the guy that works out. He wasn't the guy that was putting in the work in the gym. So he didn't have the will to push himself to get better every year, even though Vince was more talented than damn near anybody at the shooting guard position at that time. It's just that he didn't have the will to push himself, and that type of stuff matters. Same thing with T-Mac. Even Ron Artest called him out at his time in Houston, saying that T-Mac has to step it up on the defensive end of the ball. He said it started with T-Mac. The only way we'll turn this around if T-Mac steps up. And certain qualities that T-Mac lacked, he lacked in stepping up in crucial moments of the situation. Colo brought up a moment to give. Like, think about the situation in Houston where Bobby Sewell had 21 points, David Wesley had 17, but T-Mac in the fourth quarter against Dallas did not show up. He basically point blank choked, and they blew a 2-0 league at that as well. So a lot of people would try to say they would have won had the same effect with Shaq in there, but we've seen Shaq with other great players. Penny Hardaway playmaking is the separator between him and Tracy McGrady. And Penny Hardaway, a lot of people rave about Kevin Durant scoring all the points he scored off of less shots. Penny Hardaway was the same way back then. He could still give you over 25 just taking 15 shots. Penny didn't have to shoot a high volume to get his points. So Penny brought an aspect to the game that Shaq even acknowledged later on that he wished he would have stuck with Penny because he knew he had something special. But when you young, you got a lot of people in your ear. It kind of sway you the wrong way. And I think those two would have stuck together. I think that's the team that would have overthrown the Bulls. But they didn't stick together. So we didn't get to see that. But a lot of people got to understand, man, T-Mac just is certain. He got the skill. He got the scoring ability. He could do everything on the court, but he just lacked certain intangibles that would get him over the hump. That's why he was the guy that never got out the first round. We seen guys with lesser skill. Jamal Mashburn, that's the best player on the team, got out the first round. Glenn Rice, lesser talented teammate, got out the first round. It's a lot of different guys you could point to that didn't have elite talent, but they were still able to get past the first round, was able to lead their teams. Did they win a championship? No. James Harden, hell, we seen James Harden led a less talented Rockets team to a Western Conference Finals. He didn't have elite talent, but James Harden was able to get out the first round. So we can't ignore that type of stuff don't matter. That is the stain on T-Mac's legacy, and T-Mac got to live with it. He had an opportunity to get out the first round multiple times. He blew it. He was up 2-0 in 2004, 2005. He was up 3-1 in 2003. He blew those opportunities. And he had talented teams later on down the line, but unfortunately, he couldn't stay healthy. So he didn't get to enjoy the talent that he had around him. So he had some bad luck, but at the same time, he didn't capitalize on moments that he had. We've seen Allen Iverson carry a team to the finals that had his second best player on the average 11 damn points, and Aaron McKee. And that's just 6 man. So we've seen guys with no talent lead the way. Ray Allen with the Milwaukee Bucks, he gentleman swept T-Mac in 2001. So I mean, we just gotta be real about the situation. We can't ignore things. So man, enough of that T-Mac shit. He killed his own argument with Kobe Bryant in 2004 when he blew that 2-0 lead against Dallas. That shit is non-void. T-Mac, just sit your ass down. You had your chance, buddy. And now, force this Scottie and D Wade thing. You going too far. You know damn well you willing to cook Michael Jordan so bad that you going against the best player in Miami Heat history in Dwyane Wade.
What?
Wade County. You going against Wade County, man. How can you go against Wade County? Hey, Johnny, you a Heat fan.
Yeah, because he don't got 6 championships. Because he don't got 6 championships. He ain't got 6.
Shit, he probably could have had more if he didn't have to babysit LeBron James to learn how
No,
to win.
he could have had more if he
had to say,
could
hey,
do
LeBron.
more. He could have had more if he could do more. It's not my fault. All he could do is score.
Hey, as a leader, sometimes you got to sacrifice your game to make.
That's what Scottie did. That's exactly what Scottie did for 6 championships.
Hey, but D Wade was proven before LeBron got there. He showed you that he could lead.
Proving what? He was proving that he could win. Yeah, as a sidekick. Yeah, you're right.
Now, he wasn't a sidekick to Shaq. He was a sidekick to Shaq.
He was a sidekick to Shaq.
Gary Payton said it out his own mouth. He told Shaq, the only way this gonna work, you gonna have to take a back seat. And one Shaq
in the finals. In the finals. That didn't happen. That was in the finals. That was in the finals.
Was a playoff run too, because they wasn't.
No, that was in the finals because they were down 0-2. They were down 0-2, and then he said, "Listen, man, let's win this. We're already here. Let's just win this. Let the young kid do his thing." The game plan was to stop Shaq. That's what Dallas was trying to do. They were letting Dwyane Wade shoot. They weren't even playing Dwyane Wade defensively, and then he was getting all the calls on top of it. I'm not saying Dwyane Wade's not good. I'm just saying he's not on Scottie Pippen's level.
They was fouling the shit out on him. They did foul the shit out on him. He was aggressive. D Wade took advantage of how aggressive that Dallas defense was, because you got to remember, Josh Howard and Marquise Daniels are aggressive defenders. So D Wade took advantage of that. And that's why he got to the free throw line, because you got to remember, the same Marquise Daniels and Josh Howard that same year locked up Tracy McGrady. Hell, he locked up teams.
And that's a great game plan. That's how you win. If they would have gave the ball to Scottie Pippen in 1990 or 1989, the Bulls would have got past Detroit. Shaq said, I'm going to step back so we can win a championship. That's called great leadership.
Now, Scottie had a concussion, though, so Scottie kind of got eliminated due to dirty play by Detroit. By giving that man a concussion. You know, they gave that man a concussion, but
they claim they did. Hold on, Herm, I gotta do it. Hold on, Herm, because you're gonna be here in the back for a while. We're gonna have some fun tonight because you have a lot to say, Herman. I'm gonna let you say it. But let me let somebody up right quick. I got somebody new in the building. Shout out to Nas. Peace and blessings. Welcome to the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposure. We're talking Scottie Pippen. You can't disrespect him, so be careful. Continue the conversation. How are we doing today, sir?
All right. So first of all, I just want to say I'm a Heat fan as well. So I'm a Heat fan since 06. I was a youngin', and when they won the finals, that's when I became a Heat fan. So I'm a big D Wade fan. Just to throw that out there. But to say that Scottie Pippen is better than D Wade, and I kind of lightly went through, kind of ran back the tape. You make a point saying that, oh, Scottie's not known as a Scottie. Essentially, your point is Scottie can do more than what D Wade can, and his obviously his defense and his all defensive teams and all that stuff kind of puts him over him in terms of him being a better defender, him also being able to kind of I believe because I kind of skimmed over. I didn't go through.
I can simplify.
Give me.
Scottie Pippen is way better on the defensive side than Dwyane Wade is better than Scottie on offense. Whether you want to say you want to say Dwyane Wade's better than Scottie on offense, he's not that much better than Scottie on offense. But on defensive side, he's way better than Dwyane Wade.
Okay.
So overall, as a player, he's a better player, and it's not by much. It's just by a little bit.
So I'll say this on the offensive side, I actually say he's way better than Scottie, only because when we seen Scottie, the thing with Scottie and D Wade is they have moments. We have moments when they are not playing with a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, a Shaq, right? So you could kind of just going off of those years alone, when they're a first option or when they have the opportunity to be able to score the ball more and do more things on offense. If you kind of break it down into each silo, passing, I think they're both just as good as passers in terms of initiating offense. In terms of scoring the basketball, it's night and day. How can you say Scottie is not? How can you say Scottie is not? It's not that much of a difference. D Wade has a season leading the league in scoring. D Wade has seasons averaging over 25 plus. D Wade has a season averaging 25 plus with another guy like LeBron James, with a guy like Shaquille O'Neal on his team. So like I'm not understanding that. Again going back, Scottie rarely. I think his highest average is probably like 22. So I don't get where you're getting with the scoring in terms of that point. The passing I believe are equal. Scottie had to play in the triangle, so it's going to look different versus D Wade and the pick and roll and stuff like that. But you can't convince me that Scottie is not just a nudge off, or however you're teetering off on that.
Okay, let's do this. In 09 and 2010, Dwyane Wade was the clear shot number one option for the Miami Heat. He was the lead guy. That was his team. In 07, they still had Shaq. They traded Shaq mid-season. 08,
he got Shaq mid-season.
Yeah, exactly. Traded Shaq mid-season. 08, he was hurt. In both seasons, he was hurt. Both 07 and 08.
Yeah, he was hurt in both those.
He played 51 games in both seasons. So but in 09 and 2010, Dwyane Wade played 79 and 77 games respectively.
Sure did.
And in those two seasons, he averaged 28 points per game. He averaged 5 rebounds, 4.9. We're going to round it up to 5. 7 assists, 2 steals, and 1.2 blocks per game, shooting 48% from the field, taking 21 shots per game. And Scottie Pippen's 2 years by himself as the main guy in his prime, which is 94 and 95, Scottie averaged 22 points per game, which is basically 21.7. He averaged over 8 rebounds per game, over 5 assists per game, right? So Dwyane Wade got him in assists. He got Dwyane Wade's in rebounds. He obviously, the steals is going to go to Scottie, and the blocks went to Dwyane Wade. They both average about a block. Dwyane Wade averaged 1.2. But Scottie takes 17 shots per game, right, at a 48% field goal percentage. So they're close in field goal percentage. The difference in scoring is obviously Scottie doesn't shoot as much as Dwyane Wade does. I would never say Scottie Pippen's a better scorer than Dwyane Wade. But if we look at what the Miami Heat did in that same year, we were not a good team. We were not good offensively. We were not a great team. The Heat won 43 games in 09. And in 2010, the Heat won 47 games. We all know Scottie Pippen won 50-something games and then another 40-something games when he was the leader of the Bulls in a slower paced game on top of that. So, well, no, actually 2009, 2010 was probably the same as 2000, maybe 96, 95, but still, Scottie Pippen's overall gameplay like I said, Dwyane Wade's better than him offensively. But the fact that Scottie Pippen is light years better than him on the defensive side gives him that edge. And the fact that Scottie Pippen is the main facilitator for the Chicago Bulls offense. So Dwyane Wade is not the main facilitator, even though he led the league in assists or the team in assists, but he's really not. His job is to create, his own shot and then get people the ball when he's double team, triple team. So at the end of the day, I'm never going to say Scottie is better than Dwyane Wade offensively, but we're talking about overall skill and what you do on the basketball court. Scottie Pippen's impact is better. The way Scottie Pippen changes the game on both sides of the ball, because as a point guard, no one can stick him, especially in the 90s. You can't put no 6'2", 6'3", 4 guy on him. So it changes everything you have to do defensively. And then on the defensive side, he's playing your point guard, shutting down everything you like to do. So he's better than Dwyane Wade as far as impacting the game and doing all of that. Like, that's the difference. Again, I'm never going to say he's a better offensive player than Dwyane Wade, but you're only giving Dwyane Wade the offensive side and making him better because of the offense. And when Dwyane Wade was the lead dog, he wasn't impacting the game enough to where his team was one of the best teams. He was getting knocked out of the first round. Scottie wasn't. These are all facts. He was low seeded. He was the 7th seed or 8th seed one year, and then the next year he was even. Let me see. The Heat were. What seed were the Heat in 2010? Because I know in 2009 we faced Boston, so we were the 7th seed.
We were barely a 40-win team on both those years, to be honest.
No, and 2010 the Heat did a little bit better. They were 47 wins, so that's 47, a little bit better. Okay. 43, 47 wins. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's the Eastern Conference too on top of that.
Boston, but look, I get you on that, but the passing. See, the difference is the way D Wade had to create, and this is the kind of the argument you guys were making when you guys were talking about Shea versus Kobe, and stuff like that. Like, D Wade had to create the offense. I'm not gonna say from scratch, but like, Spo has a couple of sets and stuff like that, but it wasn't. We weren't running a triangle offense. We weren't running like a Princeton offense or anything of that sort. It was more so D Wade had the ball in his hands for a good period of time, and he was making plays with whatever he had to do. The thing is with Scottie is he was playing in a triangle offense. So like when you say like he's running the point and he's initiating the offense, it's kind of two different things right there, because when Scottie is initiating that offense, they're running they know they have millions of options to run out of whatever set that they're running in terms of the triangle. When D Wade has it, it's kind of like he's taking whatever the option is. If the big drops back and he got that pull up three, he'll knock it down. If he got to get into a pull up, he'll get into a pull up in the mid range. If he kind of has the switch, he'll take advantage of the switch. So he's just kind of playing off of whatever the options the defense is giving him. And then now actually let me talk about overall, right? So you're saying that defense is light years ahead from Scottie. Now
by far. Scotty's defense, bro.
I'll say this, man.
Scotty's defense is incredible.
I'll say this, and I know you watch the games. You're a Heat fan just like I am. You cannot tell me now the one-on-one defense is night and day, and D Wade is nowhere near Scottie. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But in terms of as a rotation, on rotation and a help defender, in terms of
on ball and help defense. Yeah, on ball and help defense. Wait, no, I'm saying no. Wait, hold on. That's you gotta let me say it.
Tell you why.
Hold on, wait. On ball and weak side defense or help defense, Dwyane Wade is good at both of those. You see, he's a good on ball defender and he's also good as a weak side defender as well. I'm not going to take that away from Dwyane Wade.
I'm saying in comparison to Scottie, I think he could have been better on ball. I think he could have been better on ball. I'm comparing him to Scottie, though. That's why I'm saying that.
No, he's not better than Scottie. He's not better than Scottie in a weak side or as an on-ball defender.
I think he's just as good as him on weak side as a help defender.
No, only because Scottie in the passing lanes.
It's two different eras, though, right? Scottie, they weren't about illegal defense, and he couldn't really help like that. And you kind of saw him do that when he was in Portland a little bit, but he's on the older side, so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt on that side. But with D Wade, though, this guy's challenging big men at the rim. He's challenging whoever is coming at the basket. That's why he's one of the best. If not, he is the best shot blocking guard in NBA history. He's playing.
No, he is. No, like I said, he's a great defender. I'm not going to take that away from Dwyane. But again, he's nowhere near Scottie Pippen. Nowhere near Scottie.
I don't know the stats on the defense into transition scoring, but D Wade is up there with the greats.
Yeah.
So no, but that's why I can't say that. So overall, like D Wade has a case in terms
not
of
on defense. Not for Scottie.
Hey, you can make an argument there. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, yes, I can. I agree with you. Listen, I agree with you. I'm not saying Dwyane Wade is not a good defender. I'm just saying that he's nowhere near Scottie Pippen. We're talking about, and again, imagine if Scottie Pippen was not hampered by the illegal defense rules. How much greater he would have been as a defender. Being able to roam more and do more as a defender. He didn't have the opportunity to do that. His length alone, his athleticism, and his size alone already gives him an advantage over Dwyane Wade. So that's why, again, the offensive side, like I said, if we were going to rank Dwyane Wade's offense, it's like an 8. Scottie Pippen's is somewhere like a 6.5, 7. But if we're rating their defense, Scottie's a 10. Dwyane Wade is like a 6, 7.5. So I'm generously giving Dwyane Wade 6, 7.5 because what he does is a guard. But Scottie Pippen's overall defense and overall play, and again, he's hampered by guys like this. Scottie Pippen didn't win a championship. This is the ring culture nonsense we're talking about. Dwyane Wade did not win a championship. They both of them. Yeah, they both were sidekicks. They both were sidekicks for championships, for all of their championships. Dwyane Wade's not winning a championship in 2006. He's not. Listen, Dwyane Wade's not winning. Bro, you said you was a Heat fan from 06. I'm telling you this for a fact. If Dwyane Wade does not get Shaquille O'Neal, the Heat are not winning with Lamar Odom and Caron Butler.
No. I'm saying
exactly.
06, D Wade was the first option.
It's not about being the first option or not. Who's the leader of the team? Who's the best player on the team? It's Dwyane Wade. They go to Dwyane Wade as an option because again, everybody's trying to stop Shaq. Everybody's yes, even in 06.
I'll say what Shaq said. Shaq himself said in 06 he had lost his superpowers. He said he knows he was not the same Shaq. He's not the same Shaq in the two years before when he was in the finals with Bean, and he wasn't even the same Shaq as the season before when he was damn near he should have probably been the MVP. So Shaq himself said that. Also, you got to give credit to D Wade during that whole postseason run though, because he damn near averaged 30. It's not like I'm not even just talking about the finals. He damn near averaged 30 in all of the rounds. And then the finals, he just took it up to another tier.
The clinching game against Detroit, he played bad. The clinching game against Detroit, Eastern Conference Finals, he played bad. It was Shaq that took him over to get him to the finals.
Well, to be fair, the year before that, if D Wade doesn't get hurt, do the Pistons even beat the Heat to go to the finals?
No, of course, if you lose an injured player, you're not going to win. But that doesn't mean because of Dwyane Wade. If Shaq gets hurt, they're not winning.
I don't know.
If Antoine Walker doesn't get hurt, listen. If Antoine Walker doesn't get hurt, they don't win a championship. If Gary Payton don't get hurt, they don't win a championship. If Jason Williams don't get hurt, they don't win a championship. Stop saying who gets hurt. Anybody gets hurt, you're not winning. You're taking I replace Dwyane Wade with somebody else. They're winning a championship because Shaq is there. Antoine Walker went there for Shaq. Gary Payton went there for Shaq. Zoe went back for Shaq. Ain't nobody going back to go play with some kid who played at Marquette, averaging 15 points per game as a rookie. Nobody.
Hey, Johnny, I find it a coincidence that Kobe Bryant got killed for averaging 14 points in the finals, but Shaq only averaged 13 in that finals. I mean, I find it ironic.
Nobody's killing Kobe.
Man, that Shaq don't get
Kobe fans. Take that shit to Kobe fans who think that 15 points per game means nothing. Nobody sits here and say 15 points per game mean nothing. But
I don't give a damn what fan base it is.
Herm, I let you speak, Herm. I let you speak, Herm. Don't come here and tell me I have to say something about 15 points per game when I never discredit 15 points per game. That's Zesty Jeffrey logic. 15 points per game equals a championship. Simple and plain. That's it. Without Kobe's 15, they not winning. Without Shaq's 13, they not winning.
I agree.
That's facts.
I agree.
All right, without Kobe Bryant 14, the Lakers not winning. Without Kobe Bryant 30 points per game, the Lakers not getting out the West.
I never said that. Nobody said that. Your problem is Your problem is you think Tracy McGrady. No, your problem is you think Tracy McGrady can't average that 15. You think Tracy McGrady can't average the 22. That's the problem. We're not saying that there's other guys who can average that. That's the point. That's the point. So you still need a team to win championships. No, it's his facts. Dwyane Wade is not the leader of the 2006 Miami Heat team. Yes, I know this. I was 24 years old. I was old enough to understand basketball. He was not.
D-Wade was given the keys, and he took it and ran with it, man. And
he was not given the keys. Again, I will play it for you guys again who don't like to listen, who want to argue for the sake of nothing.
Superman and his new sidekick would form a dynamic duo.
That Superman and his new...
Yeah, Tyson, to answer your question, Nas, I'm going to let you get your last word in so I get some other guys in behind you. Tyson, you name me the players that can do what Scottie Pippen did. We're not just talking about scoring. If you're asking me to find somebody who can score 20 points per game in the 90s, yeah, there's a bunch of guys who can do that in the 90s. Not a bunch of guys, but some guys who can do that in the 90s for the Bulls. But what Scottie Pippen did for the Bulls was more than just scoring. He was their leader on both sides of the floor. That's what Scottie Pippen did. He ran the triangle offense. Show me who could run the triangle offense for the Chicago Bulls. Show me somebody who can play the defense that he does. Show me somebody who can play 1 through 4 in the 90s, and I'll give you Scottie Pippen. That's
Kawhi Leonard.
I'll give you Kawhi Leonard. Nobody's gonna say that. Kawhi Leonard is up there. He can't run the offense like that. Kawhi Leonard can. No, Paul George is not on that level. None of those guys could run the offense like Scottie Pippen.
Defensively, he was one of the better defenders. Yes, he can. And we've seen Paul George made a deep run with Indiana as the number 1 guy. Something that Scottie couldn't do. At least Paul George made it to 2 conference finals, being the number 1 guy. So you can sit up there and ignore Paul George, but Paul George could do what Scottie did too. If he could replace Scottie and do what Scottie, he's more skilled than Scottie and everything. Yeah, you like to bring up niggas being more skilled in the current era. Yeah, Paul George is more skilled than Scottie. He is.
Exactly. And that's why he was nowhere near Scottie's level. He was nowhere at Scottie's level. Let me let somebody else speak, Herm. You can't take over the show because you've been talking too long all day. Go ahead and unmute yourself now so I can let somebody else talk.
Yeah. I'm gonna just get this off and then I like what you played, but like you also forgot the press. Why you didn't play what he said in the press conference? He said this is D-Wade's team.
Who said that? When he said that? In what press conference? The
press conference when he had when they gave him the jersey and he was speaking to the public, when he was speaking to the media. He literally
never heard that before. I never heard Shaq say that this is the Dwyane Wade team when he came to Miami. Never heard that. Never heard that. Because if that was the case, why would Gary Payton tell him that? Why would Gary Payton have to tell him that in the 2006 finals? Why would he have to remind him, give him the ball?
So the Gary Payton quote gets mixed up. He said that like earlier in the season. He didn't.
He said that in the finals. I have it. He said it in the finals, and the reason he said it in the finals was because they were there. He was like, man, just let. And then he said afterwards, after that, this kid had the most greatest run I ever seen. 4 straight games, scored 30 points or plus. That's what he talked about. He talked about it in the finals. Shaq was the man throughout the season. Everybody joined that team to be on Shaq's side. No one joined the Miami Heat to play alongside Dwyane Wade. Nobody. That's why when Shaq left, everybody else went behind him. And the Heat were nothing.
Yo, Shaq was a key integral piece that helped propel the Heat to get to the championship. Yes. But
he was the only piece.
D-Wade was the engine. D-Wade was the reason that D-Wade was the reason in both playoffs in the 04-05 and then 05-06 that they even got to where they were.
No, it's because everybody again, you keep bringing up injury. If Shaq gets hurt, the Heat don't win nothing. Don't bring up injuries. Injuries will derail any team from a championship, no matter who's getting injured. You take away the sidekick of a team, they're going to lose. That's not the option. The option is that Shaquille O'Neal is the key factor. Teams are still game planning towards Shaquille. Dwyane Wade's options and his ability to do what he did was just like Kobe because he's playing alongside the most dominant player we've seen in our lifetime. You can't take away the fact that Shaq commands double teams. Shaq commands attention whether he has the ball or whether he doesn't have the ball. You have to stop Shaq. He scores at a matter of fact, when he got to Miami, those were his best field goal percentage seasons in his career because it was easier to score in Miami due to the fact that they were running an offense around Shaq and there was no argument between him and Dwyane Wade. No argument like it was with him and Kobe. They were successful for one season. The next year, what happened? Shaq decrepit behind, stopped staying in shape, finally got his one championship over Kobe, and he stopped caring. Dwyane Wade didn't get us nowhere. Got swept in the first round by Kurt Heinrich and Ben Gordon. I remember because I was upset. I'm a Miami Heat fan. Watching us get beat by the Chicago Bulls.
Well, that was injuries, but I'm
no,
not.
See, look, blaming injuries. See, look, blaming injuries.
No. I don't want to give an excuse. I don't want to give that excuse.
What happened when he was really the top dog in 2007? He couldn't get us out the first fucking round. That's facts. I don't hate on Dwyane Wade because his overall career says he's one of the greatest players ever, and he's definitely in my top 20. I mean, top 25. I think, yeah, top 25, top 30, somewhere around there. So I'm not hating on Dwyane Wade. He's just not better than Scottie Pippen. Scottie, you're not going to have those problems with Scottie Pippen. But
I'm gonna say this last thing, and then I'm gonna let you go. First off, I just want to say, I appreciate the work you guys do on this channel. I appreciate your debate skills. I appreciate Herm. I just want to give love to Herm, Lamont. Who else I like to watch? I like listening to Showtime. I love all you brothers.
Oh, those guys are great.
But I'm gonna say this:
appreciate you,
Scottie. And I'm gonna let the chat cook on this, and I'm gonna go. Scottie, the main difference though between Scottie and D Wade is that D Wade as a first option has more. D Wade as a first option has more impact than when Scottie was a first option on the Bulls, and that's really the main difference right there.
Scottie was more successful.
D Wade has more big games in the playoffs than Scottie. D Wade also has. Yes, he does have more big games than Scottie. Yes, he does. I can name them all, but I'm not. I gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go, brother. Please, I gotta stop capping. I just named a bunch of Scottie Pippen games, but he was hampered by Jordan.
Hey, I seen Scottie. I see plenty of opportunities where Scottie could have helped Mike in terms of certain things, and he didn't. So that we can say that.
Okay, well, I'll leave you with this.
Especially in '98, especially in '97. But
I'm glad that you said that because in 1998 we got several evidence here where you lying. So let's go. Let's start off with 1998. Let me move this comment here and this banner here. In 1998. Scottie Pippen in the finals. Let's see here. 1998 game 2. Scottie Pippen 21.7 of 13 from the field while Jordan takes 33 shots to score 37. Game 4, 1998 NBA finals. Scottie Pippen 9 of 18, 28 points while Jordan goes 12 of 27. Jordan should stop shooting when he's playing that bad like Shaq did in 2006 so that Scottie Pippen could go off for 40 points. But he doesn't do that. Scottie Pippen has countless games in Chicago Bulls history where he was going off. In fact, we'll let the Chicago Bulls coach and them explain to you why Scottie Pippen was out here just dominating the game for the Chicago Bulls and helping them win championships.
Here's the guy who coached you when you were first into the league, and we've seen a great deal of change in your game, improvement in your game, and maturity. Doug, what about the fact of the distance this young man's traveled?
Well, I always felt Scottie Pippen was a big game player. I remember game 5, I did not tell him he was going to start the game, the deciding game against Cleveland. In here, my second year coaching, Scottie was a rookie, had 26 points in the final game. So the one difference I see, Scottie, is, you're taking the ball to the basket with such authority, but you're confident shooting that outside jump shot. You see teams going to make a change and try to trap you to prevent you from getting that easy shot?
Well, yeah, definitely. I felt like that was the weak point of my game going into this season was my jump shot. And I feel like once I get that open up for me, it will make a big difference for me.
The one thing that you do so well, Scottie, there's so many things out there, but when you rebound the basketball and you can turn and push it out, you give your team team such an advantage. Paxson can now run out and be a shooter. Michael can get out, and it creates all kinds of problems.
Well, yeah, I think that made me a major threat in this series because Barkley not able to hold me and guard me the full court. So it made a big difference with the court wide open. And I was able to create.
That man out here cooking Charles Barkley and telling him on national television, Charles Barkley can't guard me. I'm out here throwing passes left and right. Anybody can score when you play alongside me. I got West Coast in the building, a GJK member. Peace and blessings, brother.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
What do you got for us for today? I'm going to bring y'all guys up here. Give me a second here. I got some GJK members. I need one-on-ones because y'all guys are cutting me off, and then I can't get to the discussion that I'm trying to get to. So, West Coast, are you there? West Coast. All right, you're not there. Next guy up. Boycott. What's good, brother? I saw you on Lamont's channel cooking. What you got for us today?
Yeah, I think what people look at, they try to measure like Pippen in today's context. I've said this before, but I said it a long time ago. Like if you look at 1999, 1996, like 1998 or the 97-98 season, it was like 0 30-point per game scorers. In 96, there was 1. The scoring level went up. Like Pippen in today's game would be like a 26-point per game type dude. You know what I'm saying? That's what people are not measuring. So it's like when you look at Dwyane Wade, he got 27 here, he got 26 here per game. If you bring him back to the 90s, if let's say Dwyane Wade was a top 10 scorer, he would average 22 points per game. That's what he would be looking at. Like, because the top 10, I'll see if I can find it right now. So in let me get it. In 2005, I was looking at Dwyane Wade was like 4th in scoring with 27. In 1994, the number 4, let me see. Number 3, number 4. Yeah. In 1994, Dominique Wilkins was 26. Pippen was 22. So you're looking at nobody had 30 points per game that year. Yeah, David Robinson with 29. The scoring has changed so much, and they score so much now that Pippen is in the 1994 is a top 10 scorer. So if you can look at somebody as a top 10 scorer as a leader in today's game, then you can basically look at Pippen as a leader, scoring leader type of player, or that type of player back in the 90s. So you're looking at a guy that's basically, without Jordan, he's a scoring leader, right? He's a scoring leader type of guy, and elite defensively, and carries the ball down, and distributes, rebounds pretty decently, had one of the better 3-point shots in the game. That's like what everybody's looking for that in today's game. You know what I'm saying? So that's who you're looking at when you're really looking at Pippen. You got to think about that. He's close.
And no, you listen, you're on point with it. Let me show you how you're on point with this, Boycott. Mr. Helly here, Mr. Kobe Bryant here fan who only look at stats, right? There's never no context when it comes to stats for LeBron James's teammates or Jordan's teammates or Kobe's teammates. It's just the stats are good enough for us to understand how horrible that they are or how good they are, right? So we have 16.6 points, 39% on 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Well, let's go look at who the Chicago Bulls were facing in that. And the only player to average more rebounds than Scottie Pippen versus for the Pacers is Antonio Davis. So I mean, Scottie Pippen was right there with Antonio Davis in rebounding. The only guy to average more points than Scottie Pippen on the Indiana Pacers was Reggie Miller, who only averaged 1 more point, 17.4, less than 1 point more than Scottie Pippen in that series, right? And what else did I say? An assist. How many assists? There was only one guy who averaged more assists than Scottie Pippen, who averaged 5.3 assists per game, which was Mark Jackson at 5.9, one of the best passers in the game. So Scottie Pippen is right behind the best players of the team that he's facing, like you said. And that's why Scottie Pippen was still great, because you're knocking him for 16 points, but it's not like there's a bunch of guys out here just scoring 20 points, because the guy on the other team who's the best player is only scoring 17 points per game. And the reason why Mark Jackson is only averaging 10 points per game and he's shooting 42% from the field because Scottie is sticking him. And the reason why he has only 6 assists per game because Scottie is sticking him. but they don't want to address that.
What you got to look at Pippen as when you're looking at, like you're saying, Reggie had 1 more point per game, right? He's the leading scorer.
1 more point per game, and he's the leading scorer.
You got to technically look at Pippen like this. Technically, if you look at all what Pippen does, technically Pippen was possibly the second best player in the league. So you're talking about Jordan, who's the best player in the league, and Pippen, who can technically be looked at as the second best player in the league, or at least top 5. You know what I'm saying?
So without a doubt, Scottie Pippen is a top 5 player of the 90s. It's not a question. It's not a question. It's not a question. Nobody out here doing what Scottie Pippen was doing throughout the 90s, bruh.
Nobody. You cannot use today's standards. I'm sorry. You cannot. People keep thinking in today's standards. No, Jordan was an anomaly scoring 30 points per game, right? 35, 37. He's an anomaly, and he shot a lot of shots.
The only one in the 90s. And no, that's because Scottie. Again, Jordan's not scoring 30 points per game if Scottie's not letting him. Scottie is letting him do that. Scottie's playing. If Scottie was deciding to be like Kobe, then Jordan's not scoring 30. That's the point. Because Scottie cares about winning. That's why he has 6. He don't care about scoring. He cares about stats. He cares about how you impact the game and winning. What else can I do besides scoring to impact my team and make my team win? Scottie is that. He's a winner. 6-time championship. 6-0 in the NBA Finals. Only person who plays better than him is Michael Jordan. That's it. And that's because he lets Michael Jordan do it.
The only thing I wish Pippen would have got a number 2. And I wish we could have saw what he did.
He had a number 2. He had a number 2 in Jordan in 95, and Jordan coughed up the ball in the game.
Yeah, that's and people deny the impact of defense. How you deny the impact of defense?
Oh wait, I gotta put the link back up. Let me let y'all come back up. Let me give me a second. I got some people in the background I want to bring up. Give me a second, boycott. Let me bring up some people here. Hold on. Let me see if West Coast is ready. West Coast, you back in the building, brother? What's good?
Bro, what's good? Look, my internet was acting up earlier, man. Bro,
LeBron James.
Bro, we gotta talk, bro. It's been so long, okay? When it comes to this Scottie Pippen thing, I'm with you. I'm part of the camp that, just like you said, I believe he's top 5 in the 90s. I think the amount of value that he brought and he produced is ridiculous, and that's why he has his fingerprints all over the Bulls dynasty just as much as Jordan does. That's the same thing Michael Jordan would tell you, so I'm not the one making that up, right? 2, all right, though, bro. One thing I'm not gonna hold you though. We gotta talk about the Kobe thing, bro. I disagree, man. I disagree. Look, I think T-Mac maybe could have got like 1 ring with Shaq. I'm not disputing that. But for him to get
no, stop there. What is Tracy McGrady doing to prevent Shaq from getting his 3 championships? Please tell me this.
No. Okay, he's not preventing him. What I do want to say is this, though.
Because you say he's only going to win 1 with Shaq. So that means if he played with Shaq from 2000 to 04, Shaq has 1 championship because of Tracy McGrady. Explain to me why Tracy McGrady is not helping the Lakers win 3 championships. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Okay, no. Okay, so hear me out. I'll tell you what it is. Let me tell you straight up. Okay, so the reason why I have skepticism for him getting maybe more than a chip or 2, 3 straight is a stretch, bro. Let me tell you why. Because the Lakers only won 3 straight due to the fact that not only Shaq was dominant, but Kobe was dominant as well in those playoffs. Those playoff runs from 2000 to yes, bro. You looking dominant at me like I'm making
doing what? No, I'm actually doing what? Because between them same era, Tracy McGrady did better. So what did he do that Tracy McGrady cannot do?
Stay healthy for 3+
Tracy McGrady played more games. Tracy McGrady played more games than him in that span. He was more healthy than Kobe Bryant was. Continue.
Right, but we don't. Right, but did you include playoffs?
Yes, Tracy McGrady didn't get a chance to play in the playoffs. That's the whole point. He didn't have Shaq.
Well, that's why. How do we know he stays healthy for 3 straight finals runs?
Because he was healthy for the whole from 2004. From 2000 to 2004, he played more games than Kobe did.
Yeah, but even taller players are more prone to get those like lower body injuries. Look at KD.
So now he has to have an injury to not win a championship.
So hold on real quick. So hear me out. KD was a fucking demon, right?
Yeah, and he didn't get hurt. Championships.
Okay, no. So hear me out. So even KD, the Demon, couldn't stay healthy for 3 straight finals runs. He got hurt. That happens.
What they got to do with Tracy McGrady between 04 and 2000? Nothing. Between
I'm telling you.
That's 21, 22, 23-year-old Tracy McGrady. He's not getting hurt. He's playing 70 games, and he's playing with Shaq. He doesn't have to gruel himself. He has Shaq. That's what.
Right. So hear me. No. So hear me out. So one thing about me. Look, I'm not. Look. Okay. One thing. I think Kobe was a better defender, but offensively, I'm not here to I'm not here to skepticize T-Mac's ability and skill set. That's not what this is. I just skepticize.
Y'all doing?
No.
What Kobe did, y'all have to bring up stuff that's non-basketball related.
No. So hear me out. No. So
health, none of that got to do with basketball. None of that.
No. Right. So right. But what I began with by saying was I'm only questioning his ability to stay healthy, not his ability to play basketball. Just based off his ability. If we were to go by the assumption he stays healthy, they probably do win multiple rings. That's not a question. We're talking about two players that are both really good.
He's gonna be healthy. We're not talking because again, if Kobe's hurt, they don't win that. So we can go there. Well, Kobe gets hurt in 02 and 01, they're not winning the championship. So again, don't bring up him getting hurt. He's healthy. He's T-Mac, and he's the T-Mac of that time.
Okay,
there's no way they're not winning 3. In fact, they're going to win more because T-Mac doesn't have the ego Kobe has to be hurt by people saying that he's a sidekick to Shaq.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't a thing badly until they already had the 3 straight. It wasn't until the 3 straight that's when Kobe started to buck the system, and that's why they broke that team up.
It was before that. Yeah, y'all got to remember when Kobe got in trouble in 02, a lot of his teammates turned their back on him. T-Mac didn't get in trouble. That's what I'm saying. So, these are the factors that we have to understand. Even with all the turmoil that Kobe brought to that team, they still won 3 championships. T-Mac's not bringing none of that to the team, plus the same production. So he's obviously winning 3 more because they're not going to run Shaq out of town. He's not going to be upset that Shaq wants to come back and dominate in 2003 after taking 3 months off. He's not going to be upset about that. He's going to be like, I'm going to win a championship.
So here's the thing. Like I said, I don't think T-Mac was bad and he would have held back Shaq. None of that. I think, again, like I said, skill set wise and ability, T-Mac was him. You can't question that, right? My premise was I was just skeptical of maybe health, right? That was my one thing, was maybe health. And here's the second one, Ajani, and you have to keep it real with me when it comes to Kobe. How do we know T-Mac could have dominated to the level that Kobe did in those 3 straight runs? Because the only thing, hold on. So let me say this. So the only time Kobe, to my knowledge, had bad stats in those, was it 3 finals run and then up to 04, was in the first finals because Jalen Rose literally hurt him. And he said that he hurt him. Like, this is a known thing. He literally went out of his way to hurt Kobe.
Bruh, T-Mac averaged more points, more rebounds, more assists, more blocks than Kobe in those same playoff runs without Shaq.
Wait, this is okay. I understand that. My point is, so you think T-Mac would have been able to explode for 30, 40-ish consistently, even though he had Shaq?
He's averaging damn near 30 without Shaq. Yes.
Okay, again, yes. Okay, again, yeah. It's not the skill set, bro. My thing is, I don't think it's a given that T-Mac could have played at that high elite level.
West Coast, the production is the same. Fuck the skill set. Kobe and T-Mac can have different skill sets. Their production is the same. And this is Kobe doing this with the help of having Shaq.
Different though between the two. You gotta look at the usage rates. You can't compare that. With
I understand that proves my point. Again, he doesn't have Shaq.
And
give T-Mac Shaq.
Inefficient. Kobe still was more efficient. All that.
In the playoffs, they were kind of similar. Kobe was more efficient in the regular season. I give you that. He was more efficient, as you can see. He was about a point better in the regular season. But again, he had Shaq.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. The reason why you having this argument and you're starting to backpedal is because the legend of Kobe is bigger than Kobe himself.
That's fine. I don't care about that. I don't care about
I'm talking about the people that
again. At the end of the day, Kobe is top 10. Hold on, wait. Kobe is top 10 all time. Tracy is not. He's nowhere near it. That's the difference. At the end of the day, when we stretch out their careers past 2004, is when we start really seeing why Kobe is 10 times better, 100 times better than T-Mac. But for this short span,
I could agree with that.
Hold on. For this short span here, this T-Mac was one of the greatest players we've ever seen in NBA history. And this is why you can't go off of just peak and prime years, because when we go through the Tracy McGrady is the perfect example of why you guys using peak is it get exposed. Because when we go through their entire career, and listen, if they both retired in 2004, the only thing Kobe has over T-Mac is 3 championships. And obviously the defensive selection.
Johnny, but this is what you don't understand, though. If the main man that you guys give so much credit to, Shaquille O'Neal, basically telling you guys, I don't never come into the season in shape because I know I got the best player in the world on my team, and Kobe Bean Bryant. I know Kobe could carry us until I get in shape. That holds some weight because Kobe did have to carry a large piece of everything, get them to the record that they got to get certain seeds that they got to in the Western Conference. And then in certain matchups, due to the fact that great coaches were game planning against Shaq. Shaq was in a foul trouble a lot against the Kings and the Spurs because they were taking advantage of Shaq and pick and roll situations. Late in games, and for the most part in the middle of the games, Kobe Bryant was taking over and holding the Lakers down until Shaq could insert himself back in the game. So, like, end of the day, West Coast, I want you to bring up the stat that you brought up, West Coast, about the Warriors comparison with KD, Steph, and Clay compared to Shaq and Kobe.
All right, yes. So, hey, Johnny, here's the stat he's talking about. Do you remember the year that Shaq and Kobe went 15-1 in the playoffs? Do you remember that year?
2001. Yes.
Okay, yes. If you look up the total point production between Shaq and Kobe throughout that whole playoff run, that's literally the most dominant percentage of points from 2 players of all time. And it's right under 60. It's like 59.6 or 15, something like that, 59.8, right? When you compare it to the other team that went 15-1 in the playoffs, the KD Warriors, you need to account for KD, Curry, and Clay together to barely, and I mean barely by less than like 2% over what Shaq and Kobe produced in a harder defensive era. With less rules favoring offense.
I get that. No, but nobody's saying Shaq and Kobe was not one of the greatest duo, if not the greatest duo of all time. No one's saying that.
No, hold on. So hear me out.
Hold on. There's no hear out. I heard you out. I heard you. You guys told me what I needed to hear. At the end of the day, if Shaq sees Tracy McGrady doing this exact thing right here, he will also take his time off because he knows he has T-Mac. We didn't say replace Kobe with motherfucking Raja Bell. We didn't say replace Kobe with Rip Hamilton. We didn't say replace Kobe with Reggie Miller. We said replace him with this guy on the left, producing what he's doing on the left. All NBA first team in 2002 and in 2003. He is going to help the Lakers win a championship. Not only that, make Shaq feel comfortable enough to be as lazy. Now, will he hold Shaq accountable like Kobe did? No. Because Kobe only didn't like Shaq doing that. No, I get that. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter because in 2003, the Lakers still could have won if they found a way to figure out who was who. When Shaq came back,
Shaq was still hurt and out of shape. That was Shaq's fault in that series.
I got you, and and not only that, they didn't have the number 1 seed. Listen, they didn't have the number 1 seed, which could have helped them as well, right? Because Shaq didn't play the whole season. I get you. Nobody's saying that, but again, we all know
the role player Robert Orr was like 0 for 18, and that's.
I know. I get all of that, but like I said before, when there is a consensus idea of who's doing what, which you wouldn't have with Tracy McGrady like you do with Kobe, because Kobe is that dude. That's why Kobe said, I need to win a championship without Shaq. Tracy McGrady would have been fine winning championships with Shaq his entire career.
He would not have won. He probably could have got one.
He would have got the 3 that they got plus more. But he would have never got none without Shaq like Kobe got some without Shaq. That's the fact. He would have never got none without Shaq. Kobe got 2 without Shaq.
T-Mac would not have got 3 with Shaq. T-Mac would not have got 3 with Shaq because he would not have the nerve to check Shaq or to get in his face and let him know that he BSing.
It didn't matter. They didn't need that. The Lakers didn't win because of that. The Lakers, matter of fact, the Lakers were losing because of that.
The Lakers did because Kobe Bryant picked up on shit where Shaq couldn't pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So T-Mac would not have been able to carry the Lakers in certain situations like Kobe in the playoffs did, due to the fact that T-Mac showed you on many occasions from the years that you preface on that he would not show up for his team. Like I said, he was in certain situations that he could have easily, if he just played his normal game, they beat Detroit. If he just play his normal game, they probably could have beat the Milwaukee Bucks. If he just play his normal game and producing every quarter like he typically does, he would not have got eliminated as much in the first rounds like he did. And we seen in his first year in Houston, they going against Dallas, they was up 2-0. T-Mac was playing great. But soon after that game 3, especially after that game 4, T-Mac disappeared and didn't show up for his team none. So in crucial situations, that's where T-Mac, that's the separator between T-Mac and Kobe. Kobe relished in those situations, rather with T-Mac, he kind
Hey
of
Johnny,
folded in a lot of those
this is the
situations
point that this is what I wanted to harp on too.
Intangibles matter.
Kobe got Shaq. It's very easy to do that when you got Shaq. T-Mac didn't have Shaq.
Normally,
T-Mac averaged 25 points per game. When he went to the playoffs in them same span, he averaged 29 points per game. So he actually does better in the playoffs than he does outside of the playoffs.
Fourth quarter.
Dominated. He would have dominated.
He would have done those games late in games. T-Mac lost a lot of those games late in games because of his play, because he disappeared. So
he lost because he didn't have a good team.
No, he did have a good team because how they was able to go up 3-1. How was that able to be
his sidekick was hurt. He didn't have a good team. His sidekick was hurt.
Nothing to do with his sidekick.
Injury. It does. Without Grant Hill, you're not going to win. You're not going to win.
He was up 3-1 on a solid Detroit Pistons team. He had solid team as a producer. The Mike Miller.
So was Kobe.
The Pat
so was Kobe.
With
Phil Jackson.
Hey, but you
and he coughed it up.
You want to know something? Kobe bounced back from that blowing that 3-1 lead. T-Mac never bounced back, and T-Mac never had the luxury to get out the first round as a lead guy because he couldn't do it as a lead guy.
Stop bringing up what Kobe was able to do later in his career.
I've seen guys like Jamal Mashburn with no elite talent, lead guys at the first round at least. I've seen guys like a Glenn Rice with no elite talent, lead teams at the first round. Hell, I seen Michael Finley. Michael Finley as the best player on the team get out the first round. It's no excuse for elite talent like Tracy McGrady not to get out the first round.
There's no excuse for elite talent like Kobe to not make the playoffs.
For that, and you don't know basketball, nigga, for making excuses for that.
Okay, are you done?
No.
Okay. There is no excuse for Kobe missing the playoffs in his prime where T-Mac didn't do that. T-Mac made the playoffs. He was making the playoffs in 2001, 2002, 2003 while he was dominating. Those are the facts. Kobe was missing the playoffs. Y'all don't want to go there. Y'all want to talk about Kobe winning championships with all NBA help, right?
Allen Houston got out the first round with no real help, nigga. What you talking about? The Trail
I don't know.
got out the first round
Kobe didn't make the playoffs.
You don't want to hear that, man.
Kobe didn't make the playoffs.
McGrady, man. He's a choker, man. We don't care about T-Mac, man. T-Mac couldn't even win one series, man. I can't take it serious, man.
Do I give a fuck? No, not one. How many fucks do I give? 0. Exactly. So therefore your comment is irrelevant.
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Herm, I gave you all day to be nice and just chill, bro. You're not gonna do this to me tonight, bro. I'm really trying to have a conversation. It's not my fault you're a Kobe Bryant fan. You say you're not a Kobe Bryant fan, but every day that you show up on a Friday night, I realize how much of a Kobe Bryant fan you are. And it's not my fault, bro. Nobody cares what you think about Kobe Bryant. T-Mac could have did exactly what Kobe Bryant did for those 3 championships.
Well, first of all, you have the presumption that people care what you say. They don't.
Sit your ass down.
So now you get to sit in the dugout because you know who you fucking with. I'm Ajani.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. You fucked up big time. You're incapable of running this shit.
Yeah, you incapable of running this shit, Herm. You are not Ajani. I told you about that shit, man. Y'all running around here crying and complaining for Kobe Bryant. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Sit your punk ass down. That old bullshit.
Let's get back to what we were supposed to be doing. And let's get back to the players that you choose. Shout out to Juan Boy who's in the building.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Okay, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We back at it again because I'm tired of Kobe Bryant fans. Y'all been crying for a whole week. And you know what? What's his name got buried in the cemetery? I forgot to say that. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas, who put Cemetery Larry in his final resting spot, which should be the Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery. So for y'all, we're gonna give the final resting spot for Cemetery Larry in the Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery.
Welcome to Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery, where we have identified, marked, and cataloged all Zesty Jeffreys for their final resting spot. No longer will you hear Zesty Jeffrey logic like 6-0 and the toughest era ever. This is where all of that ends, right here at Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery. Subscribe to the GOAT James Kingdom channel and also check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership.
Hey, check it out, Herm. You got fans, Herm. You got fans, Herm. You got fans.
Hey, Johnny,
Herm, why I gotta be like that, Herm? Why we gotta be like this, Herm? Why can't we just be nice with each other for
man, hey, man, I speak the real, though. Niggas understand that, man. I let the LeBron fans, the other fans talk. I don't never mute niggas. I don't never mute.
Hey, Johnny, my thing is, like, it's cool that you believe in T-Mac, bro. Like, I'm fine with you believing in T-Mac and thinking he could have been as successful with Shaq. My thing is, it's not a crazy opinion. I just disagree, bro. I don't think T-Mac could have dominated the way Kobe did for that many playoff runs straight. I just don't see that.
Okay, all right. Well, I got another disagreement for you. Who you picking? The guy to the left or the guy to the right? One's a champion, one's not a championship. Who you going with? Who's the better player? Which player are you picking?
All right, there's 2 All-NBAs on the left, 4 All-Stars, 7 All-Stars, 1 All-NBA, 8.7, I think that is, and then 1.9.
Yep. Who's the better player? One's a champion, one's not. One's stats and accolades are more impactful because they won a championship, and one isn't because they didn't win shit.
Honestly, that's a close comparison. That's close. Yeah, I would probably take the left, but just barely, bro. Like just barely take the left.
And what if the right was a champion? Would you take the right?
I wouldn't take it just off him being a champion. I mean, what I like off the left player is the fact that he's a 2-time All-NBA and he averages more rebounds. But that's a close comparison, whoever that is.
I got Herm's answer. Herm got the guy to the left as well. What about you, Boycott? Who you got? The guy to the left or the guy to the right?
I'm taking left.
You taking left? Look, Herm left. Herm's upset. He never get muted. Herm, it's so funny because I only get muted when people don't let me speak. I never get muted because I'm cutting people off and don't let people speak. It's not my fault, Herm. Herm, you really, as a matter of fact, I gave you a moment in time in the show and the shit fucking dropped, man. People stopped listening because you were fucking rambling for 5-10 minutes. I gave you a chance and you still more than welcome. I'll put the fucking link back up for you because you always welcome, Herm, but you know you gotta fucking behave. My wife told me I need to put y'all in the dugout. She said that's what the dugout is for. So don't get mad because I put you in the fucking dugout. You got put in the fucking dugout. It's not my fault. So, Boycott, who you going with? The guy to the left or the guy to the right?
Left looks more elite. He looks like
going to left. Okay.
Elite rebounder. And then the guy on the right looks like he doesn't do anything super spectacular.
Wow. All right, so Juan Boy, peace and blessings, brother. What's good, brother? You can unmute yourself, Juan Boy.
Is that rebounds though, bro? The second stat? Is that rebounds or assists?
Points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, I like the left player. Just based off the fact that it's almost 9 rebounds. A 15 and 8.7, I think, is a little bit more valuable than a 16, 4 and 4-ish player. That's just, again, I think it's close though. I don't think it's like a crazy gap or nothing. Like I think you could literally coin flip here, in my opinion.
Crazy coin flip. What about Juan Boy? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I had to walk the dog real quick. Nigga been in the house since 5 o'clock.
Wow.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother. What you got? Left, the guy to the left or the guy to the right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the guy. I'm gonna go with the guy on the left.
So everybody pick the guy on the left.
All NBA teams.
More all NBA teams. Yeah, I like that. All NBA teams. Again, we doing which player is better. This is a new segment every Friday night right here on the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm giving you guys 2 players right now, but let me give you another 2 players. Let's see if you guys would know who these are and who would you pick. All right, now one of these guys is a champion. One of these guys isn't a championship. Who do you pick? Let's start with you, Juan Boy. Who you going with?
Guy on the right.
You taking the guy on the right? Okay. What about you,
Yep.
West Coast? Who you taking?
I think I said the one on. Oh, this is a different one. Okay, let's see.
Different one now. This is a different one now.
Yeah, I'm still taking the left side guy for sure. For sure.
Okay. Now remember, one is a champion and one isn't a champion. If that means anything to you, so you're taking the guy to the left.
Yeah, no, the championship. Based off what I see right now, the championship wouldn't flip anything for the guy on the left. I'm gonna take the one on the left.
All right. We got. Somebody said this is close. We got Rap God says here he's taking the guy to the left. Here we go. Here. Oh, Pippen. Adrian's out here talking to somebody about Pippen. Shout out to y'all who's watching us right now. Shout out to Lamont for setting it up. This time it's the one to the left. The one to the left. This one to the left. Oh, King Speech Row is in the building. Shout out to King Speech Row. Oh my God. All right. So what about you, Boycott? Who you going with? The guy to the left or the guy to the right?
I think they said when Kennedy got shot, down to the left. Down to the left. Yeah. I'm taking left. I'm taking good on left.
All right, you're taking the guy to the left. Who y'all got in the comments? I want to see who y'all got in the comments. I see Adrian said that. You guys see, I can't be messing with you, King Speech Row. You always out here trying to find out who the player is before you out here deciding which player you want to choose. And that's not how tonight's program works. That's not how it works. Again, we are doing which player is the better player, which will be a permanent segment on a Friday night exposure. This is the first group of guys. Right here. This is the first group of guys. We got most of you guys pick the guy to the left. This is the new set of guys right here. Some of you guys got the guys to the left. So Juan Boy picked the guy to the right. So which player do y'all want to know first? Let's start with you, Juan Boy. Which player do you want to find out which one is which first? Which one, Juan Boy?
Give me the guy on the right first.
Oh no, I'm saying which set of players you want? You want to find out who these guys are, or you want to find out who these guys are?
I'm gonna be a Jordan fan. Give me the second one because them guys average more points.
All right, we got Tyson in the building. Shout out to Tyson, another GJK member. Peace and blessings, brother.
LeBron James.
What up, bro?
LeBron James.
All right, which player you going with right now? The left or the right? And I'll get your take in it afterwards. Which player you want?
Based
Remember,
off
one's
that,
a championship. One's a champion and one isn't. Remember that.
That don't really matter. The 5-time All NBA shows he may be a little more impactful. Maybe one of the best players at his position. Contributes a little more. I'm gonna go with the left.
All right, and what about these two guys? Which one you going with, the left or the right?
Oh, that's close. That could be a toss-up. Without seeing, who's more impactful on defense, I just go right for a little bit longer. Like he was 7-time All-Star, was a little bit longer. So for career-wise, I would give it to the right, maybe.
Very interesting.
Oh well, I don't see the 8 rebounds. Depending, it depends on what position they play. I don't know if the dude is a center. I don't know if this guy is a guard on the right. You know what I'm saying? So the 8 rebounds could be, misleading if one's a power forward and one's a guard. So
both of these guys are power forwards.
Oh, both are power forwards. Okay, that makes a little bit of difference. Power forward rebounds is kind of important. So that might sway my decision back to the left.
Okay. All right, so we'll get to what Juan Boy said first. So Juan Boy said he chooses to do to the left because we're doing Zesty Jeffrey things like picking up guys who have more points. And if we look at these two guys, the guys that we're looking at are Chris Bosh and Chris Webber. Which we all know, Chris Bosh has a championship, multiple championships. Chris Webber has none. But
you could argue Chris Webber was better than Chris Bosh, like before he went to Miami, like for sure.
No question.
Definitely, Chris Bosh was better than Chris Webber was better than Chris Bosh, in my opinion.
Yes. No question.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Bosh made a lot of All-Stars. He made a majority of them, obviously, because he was with the Heat. But he didn't make a majority of them because he was in Toronto, and it was back then. It was all fan voting, and obviously they always voted him in.
No, yeah, hey Johnny, Chris Webber was one of the biggest, like, to use a better word, a victim of the 2000s, like, of the fact that Shaq and Kobe were there, the fact that was like part of Duncan's era, Garnett, like so many good players, especially in that Western Conference, bro. That conference was crazy.
Yeah,
that's a fact. But he was still great. Like he was, even amongst all those other players, he was still a great player on a very good team, by the way, that contended. So because of Chris Webber and what he brings to the table, so that Chris Webber's a baller for sure.
Yeah, and King's speech wrote, "Stop snitching. I don't need you telling me who the player is before you tell me which player you pick." You understand, young man? You understand, young man?
Yeah, I've been playing that game since 2012, man.
Hey, if you replace Chris Bosh with Webber, he got 3 rings, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
That's true too. That's true too. That's true.
That first one, that's 4 rebounds for
if the NBA didn't cheat Sacramento in 2002, they probably would be champions.
Yeah, we put prime Chris Webber on the goddamn Heat. Yeah, they win it not 5, not 6, not 7.
The other ones, you sure those are power forwards? Because 4 rebounds for a power forward is nasty work.
Nasty work.
Oh, you know what? Wait. Maybe I do got this one wrong. This is actually not power forwards. I apologize.
They small forwards.
They're small forwards. Yeah, they're forwards.
Still, I need 5 out of any forward. I need 5.
So does that change anything, Tyson? My bad. These are small forwards, Jason.
Small forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, man, it's hard to do this when, like you said, you don't know the team. Did the other guy play with some elite rebounders who was eating up all the rebounds at small forward? Was the other guy asked to, it all depends on team role, bro. So, but just based off what we see here, I'm gonna go with the left.
Ajani.
Did you just say it's based on team role?
Is that Josh Smith?
That's a very interesting question.
No,
y'all not supposed to be. First of all, y'all not supposed to be trying to find out who these players are.
Josh Smith was never an all-star.
All right, that's the point of the shadow. The shadow is. I will reveal the player very shortly, and yes, I'm trying to do a good job of confusing y'all for sure. For sure, I'm trying to confuse y'all. So
this is your best one yet. I'll tell you that.
Big ass head.
Huh? Who got? He said somebody had a big head. That dude does got a big head, but again, it could just be the picture, right? You don't know who that is to the left. You don't know who that is to the right. Dude to the right got a long ass neck. Pause. Right.
But the dude on the right, how much you want to bet he from a player from the 90s? Because the one time All Stars is common in that era.
Yeah, because it was real competition to make All Star. That's why.
I'm shooting. I was
Rod Strickland is a 0-time All Star. That'll tell you.
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
Rod Strickland never made the All-Star team, which is ridiculous.
So Tyson got the dude to the left. Mambo, who you got?
I got the dude on the left too.
Okay, West Coast, who you got? If you still there, West Coast. Who you got, Ro?
Left, rebounders all day.
Okay, Boycott, who you got?
Bonzi Wells. I mean left.
Bonzi Wells was never all-star. But that's funny.
You got say, that dude was like Bonzi Wells. Put a headband on that cat.
Josh Smith. He's got them big fat water
heads. Y'all got me down. I love this segment. I want to do more players, but I got to make sure I keep this so we can do this every week. Again, we're going to do this every week. This is so fun. There's so
many players that play today. You never know how to play.
No, it's a lot of play, but again, I got to make sure I get it to match because the real object of this is, again, one of these guys is a champion. One of these guys isn't a champion.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, I just really like the left because I just really like the left player because if they're comparable scoring wise, right? So to me, all stars, I don't really care anything about an all star. That's just popularity. So I see 2 all NBAs, and then the left player, you have almost 9 rebounds when the scoring is like literally a point like away from itself. So to me, the 8.7 rebounds is higher value compared to like relative scoring.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact you don't know what era he played in kind of makes it hard for you to figure out who the player is. So let's just go ahead and reveal the player again. Most of y'all picked the dude to the left, and obviously you picked the champion.
Oh,
And
Sean
The
Marion
Matrix.
over
Sean.
over
The
ISO
Matrix.
Joe.
Man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, easily.
Hey,
yeah,
I
King
would take
Rose
Sean
Feast
Marion.
5 seasons in a row. He
I
averaged
like
20 and
ISO
10
Joe
at
though.
6'7".
look,
And
Tyson changing his mind now. Tyson's like, hold
No,
on,
I'm
wait.
not changing my mind because I think Sean Marion is a more impactful player. And without
yeah,
this,
on both
you
ends.
can't see what those players brung on defense. And Sean Marion was a very good defender. ISO Joe not so much, obviously. So
Amen,
yeah, I
brother.
think Sean Marion in that role as not the lead scorer or as a second or third role as a scorer. I think Sean Marion is more impactful for what he does defensively, in my opinion.
I rock with Sean because he went from like a scorer to when he was with Nash, he had a little bit of a spot up shooter role for a little while. That was pretty amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, because he
Matrix
was
could
going to
play.
be
He
open.
could play over three positions. Yeah, he was very versatile.
Yeah. He
I mean,
averaged
so could
20,
ISO
20
Joe.
and
You
10
could
for
actually
5
use
straight
ISO Joe
seasons.
as your point.
I'm about to say, but ISO in that isolation is destroying Sean Marion. You feel me? Like there's no comparison as an ISO scorer. That's hence the name ISO Joe. He's bringing that to a team that doesn't have isolation scoring. So again, it's all roles and where these players
Hold
are,
up.
where the
Hold
players
up.
are
So
playing
in
and who they're playing for.
2005, if Joe Johnson don't get hurt, we looking at a different finals opponent in
You know my sons
2005?
is winning that, bruh.
Yeah, they winning that, man. They was
You know my
they was
sons
in
is
that
winning
series
that,
close
bruh.
every game. They was
Let
close
me
every game in that series.
let me address Osmosis Jones here. A cool name there. He said, "Yeah, I did mistake them for being power forwards. I apologize because I had the shadows up. I didn't realize who they were at first.
That's the thing, though. Matrix
I did
played
the
for power
shadows.
forward for D'Antoni. He played it in the
He kind
small,
of did play power forward, yeah, small, but he was a small
but
forward
he
that went to
was a
power
He's
small
a
forward.
small
forward. That's
forward
what
by
D'Antoni
nature,
would
yeah,
And
for
move
sure.
Amari was
everybody's
a center.
position over.
Yeah.
Amari was a
Joe
power
Johnson,
forward for real.
Joe Johnson could be a mix between small
He's
forward
a
and
2-3, yeah, for sure.
2-3 combination as well.
And Quentin Richardson could play the 2-3.
Yeah, D'Antoni moved everybody over position by one. He played small with no true
remember
center.
when
Joe Johnson, if I'm correct, Joe Johnson made the All NBA team in 2010. If that's the correct season, he made it
And
that
to
way.
be fair,
That's a good year to make it.
Yeah.
To be fair though, Sean Marion got a power forward head. Pause. I was trying to figure out who that was for a minute. I'm like, that's
Pause.
Yeah, what we doing here? What we got a power forward? What?
Yeah, so
Chill out, bro.
He
Chill
didn't
out.
say pause. Y'all missed the pause.
I said pause though.
He didn't say
Man,
pause.
some stuff, even if you say pause, don't excuse it, brother.
spot up shooter, a versatile defender. Y'all still gonna give are you gonna give him some praise for 2011?
Hey man, I'm gonna have a drink to that. By the way.
Indeed. So hold on, let me end this segment here. So again, ladies and gentlemen,
so nobody heard me, huh?
yeah, hold on, Juan, hold on. So just to let y'all know, these were the set of players we were doing for the obviously which is the better player, which is going to be a permanent segment here on Friday Night Exposure. I will be selecting a couple of players for y'all to decide, put them in the shadows and see if you guys will honestly select a player off your true basketball knowledge and experience. And again, this is all for fun and games. This is not obviously to test anybody. This is just for fun. We're just having fun here on a Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. We were talking about Scottie Pippen and his greatness, and obviously I had to segue into this because we're having fun on a Friday night. Nobody wants to show up on a GOAT James Kingdom platform just to be exposed. Sometimes y'all want to have some fun. Sometimes you want some information. I provide it all right here.
Hey,
The next thing I told y'all, the next thing y'all could do is the all-time fantasy draft, right? Pick whoever played the latest version of 2K, pick that up, pick the teams and simulate it into 2K.
I do that. Hold on, let me bring that up while we do that. Juan Boy, go ahead and repeat. You said you had something to say. We're going to talk about this. Let's go. Go ahead, Juan Boy. You said something that we all missed. What were you talking about? Are you there, Juan Boy?
I was saying now everybody was just talking about Sean Gitt. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm good, man. Hello? All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Just saying how Sean Marion was a spot up shooter and a versatile defender. So now can the Dallas Mavericks get some more credit for 2011? That's telling me anything otherwise than what we all just agreed to. I mean, I gotta call you biased. Come on, man. Stop
We
acting like
agreed
the
that was a
boys.
great run. That was a great run. Everybody
So
agreed
pretty
that was
much,
a great run.
Ajani said, "Who's that Pokemon?" That's what Ajani said.
I don't understand what happened. What happened? 2011. What happened?
I had a real quick take when you get a chance, hey Johnny.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead,
get up out of
Tyson.
here.
Go ahead, Tyson. What you got for us, brother? We listening.
I just wanted to say, you with that whole little 2 minutes thing and whatnot. I mean, the reason the way we quantify players is their stats, right? Of course, but I understand LeBron's comments about ring culture, and I totally agree. My issue is with other players saying that they can join another team and replace this player and do what they did. Damian Lillard had a great 2017, 2016 season. That doesn't necessarily mean to me that he can replace Kyrie and win a championship with that Cavs team because of what Kyrie did in those moments and hit those big shots. But if we just look at stats, Damian Lillard is on par with Kyrie Irving. Maybe not field goal percentage is a little less, but
Let him finish. Go ahead. Yeah, let him finish. Go ahead. No,
yeah.
Wombo was about to cut you off. I'll make sure he didn't. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, cats like Kemba Walker or whatever. Those are different archetype players, but stats are similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. But to take away from what Kyrie did and say, well, as Damian Lillard gets up there and say, well, if you put me on that Cavs team, I'm winning the championship. To me, it's disrespectful to Kyrie because of what Kyrie did in those moments, bro. And that's my point when we talking about Tracy McGrady. I have no problem with saying Tracy McGrady is a great player and a baller and all those things for that time he was. Before the injuries took their toll. But to say I would have did what Kobe Bryant did or I would have won championships, to me, doesn't need to be said. Just because I think it, and he should think it, he's a great player. But to say it is another thing. Just like I think I could take your girl and I tell you it, you're going to take it as disrespect, right?
No, but this is the difference. This is the difference. This is the difference.
Let me get him.
You gotta listen. If I said I was going to take your girl as me, that's nothing. But imagine me being Puffy. Having that power, that status.
Still can't do it, nigga.
I got you. I'm just saying.
My girl ain't into all that shit, bro.
I'm just saying the reason he went to Shaq and Kobe was because it's easy to say you can win a championship with Shaq. That's the thing. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to say I can win a championship with Michael Jordan. It's easy to say I can win a championship with LeBron James. So that's why I think he went to the Shaq. I don't think it was to disrespect Kobe to say that he can do what Kobe did. It was just the idea that, yo, if I'm playing with Shaq, imagine if I had Shaq, I'm winning.
So here's a better question.
Hold on, wait. Go ahead, my boy. Finish that up for me.
Now he talking about what Kyrie did in 2016 or 2015 because those are the first two playoff trips. So he skipped over he skipped over 2014 when Dame Lillard hit like a 30-footer to go to the second round and knock James Harden to the Dwight Howard in Houston off. So let's not forget that Dame.
What happened? What'd he say?
Hold on.
I didn't hear what he said.
He didn't hear what you said, Juan boy. He didn't hear what you said, Juan boy. You said something about that was Dame Lillard, right? Dame Lillard versus
in 2014 versus James Harden, Dwight Howard, and the Houston Rockets. Who sent who home? When it was
for sure. That makes Dame Lillard a great player.
Who sent OKC home in 5 with a 50 ball from 40 feet away?
So I got all that.
So hold on. And also, Dame's a rookie of the year. So you're talking about Dame like he doesn't have big, like you don't have.
Nobody see that's again. Nobody said that, brother.
Hold on, yes you did. You said that. Well, I'm gonna take Kyrie over Dame because Kyrie lived for.
I didn't say I would take Kyrie over Dame. See, that's what you're missing.
Can I talk? Let me finish my point because
okay, but you're saying stuff I didn't say, brother. Go ahead.
You mentioned You mentioned Kyrie and Dame in the same sentence. You said that Kyrie
Dame couldn't do what Kyrie did.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. No, hold on, wait. Tyson, you did say that. You said that.
I said I don't know.
Okay, you don't know, but that's what I'm saying. But that's the whole point. Hold on, wait. But that's what I'm saying. If we can't let the stats give us that knowledge, then why are we talking?
That's my point, Ajani.
But then why are we talking basketball then? If we can't let the
No,
stats give us the information that we need and that we're seeking, like
I got you. I got you. I'm saying Damian Lillard is a great player in his own right. Just for the facts that the brother brought up just now, he's a great player. But to say he would have did what Kyrie did and hit those shots in those moments, in that situation, we don't know that. That's my point.
Hold on. Yes.
Hold on. Wait. Let me say, but the fact that you're saying we don't know it because we're talking a hypothetical,
right?
That's kind of like saying we can't have this conversation. The conversation.
Agreed. The conversation should not be had of what I could do in place of Kyrie, and I can win a championship. The conversation is, I'm a great player, and in the right situation, I think I can win a championship. But don't say you would have did what Kyrie did or whatever would happen.
Okay, so then hold on, wait. Just don't ever hold the title against any player ever again, Tyson.
What's
Please
that?
Don't hold the title. Don't hold a title against a player ever again. For a player that never.
I don't. I talk about performances. What did you do? Period.
That's what I'm saying. So every player you grade should not be graded because of their championships at all. Go ahead, Juan.
No.
Wait. No, you got to because it's circumstance now.
That's not fair though.
Yeah, how's not exactly? It's not fair to the person who never had the chance. That's what I'm saying.
That's not how it works, bro.
Back to my point.
I'm just saying. Go ahead, Juan boy. Let's let Juan
boy
finish.
Juan.
All right, now saying, we don't know if Dame would do this. Dame hit big shots in the playoffs against teams without LeBron as his teammate. You didn't see Kyrie hitting these shots until he started playing with LeBron. Dame Lillard took his team, his first playoff series. He ended it with a game winner against Houston. He did the same thing 5 years later against OKC when he had that 50 ball. When he shot that shit from like 40 feet, all net. So you're being disingenuous, talk about, I don't know if what Dame would have did. What Dame would have did with LeBron, we would have seen it. We had bits and pieces of it already. We saw what he did without him.
He's not leaving.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
I don't have it. He's not leaving.
This is a rabbit hole.
This is a rabbit hole, bro. He did that with his team. He did that what he did in his situation.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. So imagine if he has LeBron.
Okay, so that's what the Bucks thought. If he got Giannis, he gonna do this, that, and the third.
This Dame is not the same Dame we're talking about from 10 years ago.
Oh, see now.
No, but that's true. It's not the same thing.
Okay, bro, but so if you put him back then and you put him back then with the Bucks, then he automatically was a championship because he's a one. This is not how it works, bro.
Hold on, wait. If the 2025 Bucks had the 2015 Dame, yeah, they're a better team, definitely. Hell,
what? You think they're tripping?
Hell yeah.
See, that's where we disagree, bro. That's where we disagree.
That's like somebody say, you can't give me 96 Shaq in 2000. 96 Shaq in 2000.
No, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, Drew Holiday is exactly what that team needed, bro.
No, we're not talking about the 2021 because exactly.
I'm talking about them winning the championship.
Yeah, they were stupid for trading for Dame. That was dumb. That was a dumb trade.
But if we look at the stats, Dame is he hit big shots and he does this and does that.
But they lost players too. They lost Chris Middleton. What's it called? Lopez is not the same player as well.
That's true. That's fair point. That's true. But just to say,
they had a way better. What was the other guy they had on the bench too that was balling for them too in 2021? They had a bench player. No, it was Portis. There was somebody else. It wasn't Beasley. Wasn't it Beasley? Did they have who did they have? They had somebody else.
Who? In 21?
The 21 Bucks. They had
Middleton, Brooke.
Middleton was a baller. That was why they were playing. They had him.
Nah, Crowder wasn't on that team, was he? He didn't play substantial minutes.
I think Javon Carter was there.
Carter was back up, played some minutes.
Backup point.
Yeah.
No, Jeff Teague was there too, though.
Oh, that's what it was. DiVincenzo was on that team. DiVincenzo was on that team.
That's right.
Yeah, DiVincenzo was also on that team. Yeah, DiVincenzo was also on that team.
Right, Dante.
Yeah.
No, it's a different thing. I'm just saying, bro. When you put players in different situations, in different scenarios, it doesn't always guarantee a certain result. Is my only point.
No, my point is that we don't. Obviously, there's going to be some different factors because these are different players, but the caliber of play that's what T-Mac's whole statement was. I'm a championship caliber player, and put me in a championship situation. I'm not going.
I don't disagree with that.
So here's a better
and that's all he's saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's why he chose.
Championships no matter what team you on.
But that's why he chose Shaq. Because then there's nothing that can. That's the whole point. Once you put him on the Shaq team, there's nothing that says they can't win a championship. He's playing with Shaq and his prime. Shaq in his prime. That's. I mean, it's the same.
I think they can win one. To say they will win three is a little stretch.
I got a better hypothetical that's not that disrespectful to Kobe. A better hypothetical.
We're listening because we don't want to disrespect.
Put Mac on the 2002 Kings with Weber. Matter of fact, replace him with Stojakovic. Weber, Christie, Bibby,
with Rick Adams' offense. With Rick Adams' offense? Yes. They're beating the Lakers.
So now they're beating the Lakers. Mm-hmm. He takes one ring from Kobe, but him and Webb got their own ring, right?
2 from Kobe. But remember, they lost back-to-back. They lost in 01 and 02 to the Lakers. They got swept in 01.
Yeah, I know. So one maybe they don't win in 02. I mean 01. They do win in 02.
It was on fire. Not again. Maybe they might beat the Sacramento Kings in 01. 02 is good, but you telling you replace him with Page because Page was nasty too.
I know Page was nasty, but I see the nasty. If I say replace Christie, if I say replace Christie, they might go back to back. So I'm saying
replace him with Christie, with Page and Christie, Mike Bibby, Vlade Divac, and Weber. Yeah, that's a nasty team.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like saying, okay, yeah, you put me in a better situation, but I'm not just replacing Kobe. I'm actually going head to head against Kobe and Shaq, and then I think him and Webb would have been nasty too.
Okay, so
Webb as a passer, yeah, for sure.
Let's do some hypotheticals before you get up out of here, right? I had a scenario where I was trying to set up, right, and this was the scenario that I was trying to do, right, and you basically the contest was you get $25 in GOAT bucks, right, and then the contestants get to pick 5 players, right, one contestant at a time and all that other stuff, and then we're going to take their career averages and totals, and we were going to get a score predicated on that. So the point system was on the right. That would have been the point system, right? And I forgot what it was that I said. There's a couple of some tidbits that I had, but you basically had $25 to purchase a team, right? And the way I had the players set up was with these players were worth $1, right? So you see all the players here. There's a lot of players on this list that you can use, and I think I used the top 75 NBA greatest players of all times list. And then these were the players that were either worth $2, $3, or $5, right? And then these were the players that were worth a dub, $15 or $10. And I was going to give out $100 prize to whoever won this, but nobody really showed up. But Herm and T Perfect do this. So if you was going to get for the player's average, you was going to get a point per point, a point per assist, a point per rebound, a point per block, a point per steal. Players without a steal or block on their resume, the points, they get 1.5 points per rebounds for their rebounds, right? And then there was a 25% discount on one player, but must provide a fact on that player that I didn't know about.
Got you.
You giving me Jokic for $2?
This is crazy. The disrespect. You stay disrespecting niggas, bruh.
Oh, let me see. What was Jokic at? Nikolai Jokic would have been $2.
Disrespecting people.
Oh, now, but now you got to remember them. But listen, you get to pick one contestant at a time, so it would have been a fantasy draft, like the way Rose said. It would have been a fantasy draft.
Right.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It would have been a fantasy draft. So yeah, somebody would have been able to pick up Jokic, but then you still have to put your roster together. You still got to go get the other players to add to Jokic. It would have been a great pick. Don't get me wrong, but you still had to pick it. You know what I'm saying? So and then the contestants with the highest score wins a cash prize and GJK merch, and the one player can be sold at 25% discount. And I showed you how you had this. You had to buy the player. At 25%.
Yeah, those are fun though to do those type of things. I did similar stuff when I was fucking with PC back in the day. But yeah, those are fun little drafts and stuff. But anyway, man, I just want to stop by and say what's up real quick, man. After you did that nasty work on that little shit yesterday, but salute to you, man.
I know.
I'll catch y'all later.
Man. Much of blessings, brother. Peace and blessings, brother.
Hey, babe, you ever met Diddy? Oh, my bad. All right, I'll catch y'all later.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
I'm just playing.
Oh my God! Look, Adrian said Jordan should be $40, and you can't even afford him. You only got $25. You think Jordan's so great, you don't even want to put him on your team. Y'all are some funny people.
Yeah, that's insane, yo. It's stuff I don't be wanting to say, but like, yo, if you're trying to win a chip, right, and you draft Jordan first, what happens if you never come across Phil Jackson? I'm talking about some Back to the Future type shit.
Herm had a team. Herm, what was your team, Herm?
What? When?
You don't remember when we were doing this? I was trying to do the contest for the GOAT James Kingdom member. It was around Christmas time. It was like Black Friday. That was when I did it. It was the episode 70. And remember, I was telling you guys had to purchase a team, and I was giving you $25 to purchase the team, and these were the players, and it was going to be $100 cash prize. I remember you showing up and having a team, and you were ready, but nobody showed up. But you, yeah, I know you forgot your team. Okay, so you don't remember. But go ahead, Boycott. Finish up right quick. Go ahead, finish up, Boycott. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was saying like, Lamont was saying something about the triangle offense, and he was like, Tex had to come in and use the triangle to trick, and Phil Jackson, to trick great players or scorers is what I call them, great scorers into being good team players. I imagine Jordan never becomes a good team player because he never comes across Phil Jackson. You just spent $40 on him, and you just got some dude dropping 39 points per game and losing. Like that's how I look at things sometimes.
Well, you can do this though. No, we could do this though. I mean, like I said, it's sad that the triangle offense is really the only offense we know. But I think, to be honest with you, I think Phil Jackson only thought of using the triangle because he had a Michael Jordan. There's a reason why the triangle kind of works with a closer like a Michael Jordan and a Kobe Bryant. Because they're so lethal at isolation basketball and one-on-one basketball that at the end you could just always go to them. But in the whole process of the game to keep teams off even keel, you basically use the triangle offense because there's so much stuff going on in the offense that you don't just pay attention to the guy who's killing you for 30 to 40 points like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe. So I think he thought that it was also one of the best ways to make Jordan be Jordan, but still be effective enough to win. I don't think any other offense would have worked for Jordan to win a championship. And that's why I think it worked well for them. So I don't think it was necessarily the offense I don't think Phil would have ran the triangle offense if Michael Jordan was on the team. I think if there was no Michael Jordan, he would have ran another offense.
Because I've been watching the NBA for about over 35 years when I really think about it. I've seen mad great scorers, bro. A bunch of them. Jamal Mashburn had a year. Stackhouse had a year. You had Carmelo Anthony, and I seen dudes that could drop a bucket 40, 50, and they just didn't win anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really got to get into a good place to win a championship. It's not just about your talent. You really got to get in a good place. That's why I say, in my opinion, based on what I know, I look across the NBA and its history. I always say, you can say whoever you want is the GOAT. I think LeBron is the most valuable player of all time because I've seen his teams crash after he leaves. You know what I'm saying? Even with all-stars on the team and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I kind of measure my GOAT by how valuable you are too. But as far as like, you know what I'm saying, like a player that didn't really need the coach, he did need teammates and all that stuff like that, but kind of did it with scraps. That's one of the dudes right there. There are other players that did that too, but that's one of the dudes right there.
Ooh, Ro, don't do that, Ro, because Jordan ain't win with Jordan Kobe.
I do see again. See, we do the what ifs. The what if opens so many rabbit holes.
I'm not gonna go to what if. Hold on, let me address Ro in a second here. But before
y'all get really spicy when
I'm not gonna get. I don't get spicy. I get exposure. Like don't tell me I get spicy. I get exposure.
So
I don't
let's
even like
expose
spicy
it.
food.
Let's
Okay, let's
expose it
expose.
because I didn't
Hold on,
lie.
wait.
I didn't cap.
Wait a second here. Now again, let's do this. So again, we talked about the contest that I had on that episode for Black Friday, right? But I'm also going to be doing a contest next week for the 100th episode of the Friday Night Exposure, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are doing 100 episodes. And within this one, what I want to do is that I want you guys to basically, it's not going to be hard. All you got to do is, just tell me your favorite episode from the past 100 episodes that you know from the Friday Night Exposure and why it's the best for you. And when you do that, I will choose a winner, and a winner will get an option of a poster sent to them. And this poster could be this LeBron James poster here. If you want to have a poster like this, or if you're a Michael Jordan fan, you can have a poster like this with Michael Jordan. Or if you are a Kobe Bryant fan, you can have a poster like this of Kobe Bryant. Either way, you can have this poster as a winner of next week's Friday Night Exposure, which will be the 100th episode, and it'll be on 4th of July as well. So with that being said, I will have another contest. This one's going to be very easy. All you got to do is obviously be a GOAT James Kingdom member, right? That's the key part. You got to become a GOAT James Kingdom member. If you're not a GOAT James Kingdom member, you cannot participate in these contests. Becoming a GOAT James Kingdom member means all you got to do is go to our channel. You hit the join tab. You find out which tier you want to be a part of, and you can actually become a member of the channel. In fact, if you're a King's Guard of GOAT James Kingdom, you automatically have access to one of these posters. You just got to let us know who you are, that you are a part of the King's Guard membership, and we'll get you the poster that you like, whichever one of these posters that you want. But either way, for it to be eligible for next week's contest, to win one of these lovely posters, which I know you guys love these posters. If you're a LeBron fan, there's no way you don't love a poster like this sitting on your wall somewhere. You frame it up, get your wife upset, put it in your game room, put it in wherever it is, your man room, whatever you got, right? Then you obviously, for those who love Michael Jordan, we all know y'all love MJ. Put this one up somewhere in your house. You'll love to have that. And this one is dope to me. If I was a Kobe Bryant fan, I don't know what to tell y'all. I would cherish a poster like this. And again, it is an actual poster. It'll be a 2x4 a poster, so it'll be a good enough poster for you to frame and put up for you. And again, that is for the Friday Night Exposure next Friday night right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel or on FYF Sports Debate. But again, you must be a GJK member to be a participant of that. So again, shout out to all the GJK members.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
And all you got to do during this contest is just tell me your favorite episode and explain why. And really, in reality, tell me your favorite exposure. The person that you felt got exposed the most, or the most embarrassing, or the most funniest, or the most entertaining exposure. You do that and you bring it up. We'll have a great show next Friday. So that is next week's contest. I'm trying to do my best to give you guys something special, especially for all our GOAT James Kingdom member. So shout out to you, Juan Boy, Herm, for always supporting. Boycott, I know you're not an active member, but you used to be a member. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of our GOAT James Kingdom members, whether you are active or non-active. But again, you have to be an active member to participate in next week's program. But back to you, Ro. Back to you. Back to you. Let me find your comment over here. You said
you slick.
You
He doing you slick. He did, and then he did it well, like we wasn't on the panel. I see it. I'm like, wait.
Bro. No, I respect it. I didn't cut nobody off. I threw it in the comments. I know New York see it, and I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
Because we do the what if, so we got to play the what if game the other way.
No, but check this. But no, in reality, though, Ro,
you're gonna learn today.
Okay, so. You said LeBron James can't win outside the 1-4 system, which I guess is you mean LeBron James playing a 1-4 motion out where
the
four
spread
guys
out, yeah, with the smaller big, with the smaller big.
Completely false. If you go back and look at the early Cleveland Cavaliers, and let's not even talk about the Paul Silas ones when they got rid of him. I'm just talking about with Mike Brown. They ran a lot of actions that were predicated off of the same actions that they were doing in San Antonio. A lot of floppy actions and things of that nature. So it wasn't LeBron James either. For one, he wasn't even the main ball facilitator. Then he was just the best ball facilitator. But he ran a lot of floppy actions, running around screens, a lot of Iverson cuts. He had a lot of those stuff going on in that. They ran a lot of offenses within the 3-point line. That's what the era was about. He went to Miami. It didn't change. The first year in Miami, they didn't run nothing intricate for them to play. Even when they even went out to the spread offense that Spo had changed to 2012, where he put Bosch at the 5 and things of that nature, it still didn't have the spread out 4 motion offense that you're talking about, because in that era it just didn't have it. You barely had people playing around the 3-point line. A lot of guys were still playing within the 3-point line. Then he leaves Miami with the spread offense. So now we're talking about him playing in 3 separate offenses within his first 10 years. He leaves Miami. He goes to Cleveland. He plays with David Blatt's offense. David Blatt's offense is not a 4 motion out offense. We all know that.
They lost.
We're not talking about winning or losing. We're not talking about that. He took a team to the finals. That's successful. No matter what you say. First time on the team, new roster, new players, new coach, new everything, new scenery in the finals. Success.
I feel that. But then we got to say that Jordan took a team to the conference finals and only ran into the bad boy Pistons.
No, and that's true. But we're saying he did that with the triangle offense, and in the year prior to that, they ran what's it called offense? You want to talk about an offense that had no motion, no nothing? That was Doug Collins' offense. That's why he got fired.
I got you. I understand that. But then we're measuring different levels of success. Now, if we talking about winning something,
Jordan. I was trying to break down LeBron. You brought up Jordan. I don't know why you brought up Jordan.
Y'all were talking. He was talking how Jordan never won outside the triangle system. So what if he never runs into Phil Jackson? Then he never wins.
But you didn't let me get to LeBron James winning championships with 2 other coaches. You didn't let me get to LeBron James winning championship with 2 other coaches.
No, I get it, but the system basically broke down to the same.
No, it wasn't. Style. Tyronn Lue is not running that style of offense as well. You're lying.
You're running it without the traditional center, where you have the 4 playing the center, being more of an outside shooting threat. Basically, that's what LeBron has wanted.
It has nothing to do with the offense, bro. That's today's basketball.
What you just named, Ajani, named was all systems where he got to the finals, he got to, and then they eventually, again, if you want to tell me the offense was exactly the same, okay, I can give you that.
That's the conversation we're having. That's the conversation we're having. They didn't have the same offense. That's what we're talking about. They didn't have the same offense. That's what we're talking about.
It was a lot of basics. It was a lot of basics.
Offenses. Jordan wasn't. He was in only 1.
But see, okay, then what are we doing? Because that's like to say eventually Jordan couldn't have won. We don't know that because he didn't play in another system.
Jordan said himself he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even dare try.
I don't know. You think he couldn't have won for Pat Riley or Brian Hill?
He said no, he wouldn't have. He said himself he couldn't have.
I mean, look, I guess if he never had to do it, he never had to do it. But at the end of the day, then guess what? If you it's like
wait, hold on,
Go ahead.
Did you just do a whatism? A whatism?
A whataboutism? Yeah, I kind of did. I kind of did. Look, I'll copy a whataboutism. I did it. But wait a minute, y'all do it.
I got a new sound bit for you, brother.
Gotcha, bitch.
That's funny.
You both whataboutism on me, on your defense.
Turnabout is fair play, right?
You weren't even trying to talk about Jordan in this scenario.
No, he was talking about Jordan. He was saying how if Jordan never ran in the field.
Yeah, he never.
He said if Jordan never ran in the field, and again, that's cool. But I'm to believe that Jordan was an undeniable. Same way about LeBron. LeBron could have eventually won in Cleveland. You know, they would have eventually got the formula in Cleveland if he never left Miami. I don't fault him for leaving Miami, but of course, his talent was that undeniable that one day he was going to win a championship. I say the same thing with Jordan, even if they don't hire Phil.
Exactly.
Because again, the talent was undeniable. So
LeBron got 4, Jordan got 6. I said they're multiple champions.
My point is, if you got a formula that work, right? It's like cooking chicken. Some people just feel what goes in the chicken, right? They feel they don't measure shit, and then some people measure the shit, right? The Colonel wrote his recipe down, right? That's what
he better wrote. First of all, let me address Mike. Mike, the link is available for your lisping ass. Bring your ass up on here. Come show me where I was capping at, man. I get tired of y'all. Be safe in the comments, man.
FYF bad again, bro. We
I'm
but
mad,
look.
I would love to know why y'all only know about the triangle offense. Y'all don't know about no other basketball
Again, there's other off. See, some people are just. That's like saying, well, obviously Shaq did win outside the triangle, right? He won with Pat Riley and Wade. So some people's talent is undeniable, where they could have played in other offenses and won. That's really all I'm saying. But if you're gonna say he didn't win outside this system, well, then again, LeBron had the same basic system that, as you know, you're going to. Okay, all right. Here's another thing, right? Magic didn't run outside of an offense that ran a lot.
No, they did.
They running a slow down offense.
No, they changed the offense. First of all, they ran with McKinney's offense. Then they brought in West Paul, who didn't know how to run that offense. Who didn't? That wasn't his strategy.
Which, ironically, he didn't take it to college. The same high-paid shit.
And got fired because Magic didn't like the way he was running shit.
Because he was running a slowdown shit, right?
They had to bring in Pat Riley. Pat Riley had a different.
My point is, it makes sense to run a style that fits the star players. I didn't know the Knicks offense. Yes, I did.
What offense did Pat Riley run with Patrick Ewing? I would love to know this because I don't know it.
Lord Jesus. Well, we
throw it into the black hole. Throw it to the black hole. Throw it into the black hole.
We ran the grind out shit. Again, he ran completely. I'll put it this way: with Ewing, he ran completely opposite of what he ran with Magic. Obviously, that's why I like Riley, because Riley can coach different styles. Some people, again, you got to.
None of us know. Nobody knows Gundy's offense. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what offense Pat Riley ran that was different than Stan Van Gundy's offense from 05 to 06 with the Heat. I don't know. I really don't know. Nobody, Lamont, that is the problem with basketball. They don't give us an opportunity to understand.
Lamont, your coach talk doesn't trump me.
I don't know what offense
I'm not an X and O dude at all. I can sit there and look at it. The point I'm making, though, is you're going to always see, here's the problem, right? When we lost Riley that year, 95, we brought in Don Nelson. Nelson wanted to run Nelly ball with Patrick Ewing. Everybody knew that shit wasn't going to work. And what did they do? They wound up, because I wanted to tell him this last night when he was telling me my Knicks coaching shirt.
Nelly ball is like the 7-second offense, ain't it?
Yeah. And you're trying to run that with Patrick Ewing, who ain't the most facilitative player in the world, right? And then we had Derek Harper running a point. He actually wanted to run the offense through Mason. It was too clunky. We were grinders, not quick dudes.
Need help, Lamont.
So then we went back to Van Gundy, who had the first cheer under Riley, and kind of got back to Knicks grind out basketball. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate point I'm making, it makes sense to run what optimizes if you got a star like LeBron, Jordan, Magic, KD, whoever, it makes Curry, it makes sense to run what optimizes them. And sometimes it boils down to the same basic shit. Now, again, some players, some talents are just undeniable that they're going to eventually win a chip. So to sit there and say that Jordan wouldn't have won a chip without Phil, okay, because he didn't.
He's not. He's not winning without Phil. He's not winning with
Pat Riley. He's winning with Brian Hill. He's winning with Larry Brown eventually. Come on now.
No, he's not.
Okay. All right.
Again, you have to understand that's why I told y'all Phil Jackson chose the triangle offense. He understood that the triangle offense.
It probably worked for the best. No, and let's get it worked best for the group that they had. I get it.
Bro, you got to let me speak, bro. I'll be letting y'all speak. Bro, I be letting y'all speak, bro. I got a lot to say too. That's why I decided to do a show on a Friday night, so I can say what I want to say.
Land my plane before everybody go crazy, but you got it. My bad.
Land your plane, because your plane is in Everglades right now.
No, but what I'm okay. Basically, what I'm saying is, and again, what the triangle, and I believe Phil believe this too. We also have to optimize the guys around Mike and get Mike to play off of them, play with them, and eventually that it led to dominance. So that's what I'm saying. Now, if you're trying to say that Mike couldn't have played no other way,
he couldn't have played no other way. I'm telling you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because guess who was the assistant coach of the Bulls in 1988? Phil Jackson. Who was the head coach? Doug Collins. What did Phil Jackson tell Doug Collins? Yo, we got to get the ball out of Mike's hand. You know what Doug Collins' response was? I would love to do that. You know who's going to stop me from doing that, Phil? Phil said who? He said Michael Jordan. You have to be a coach. You have to look at your guy in the face and say, yo, I don't need you doing this. Perfect example. 2008 Olympic team. Coach K watching film before they go to Beijing. He looks at Dwyane Wade and LeBron James. They look at him and tell him, man, listen, Kobe's taking too many shots, man. He's taking a lot of bad shots. We got to do something about that. What are you going to do, coach? Coach says this is the toughest conversation he's going to have in his life. Before they go to Beijing, he brings in Kobe Bryant, sits him down, shows him his shots, shows him the film, and tells him, hey, Kobe, these are Lakers shots, not Olympic gold medal shots. I can't have you taking these shots. It takes a coach to tell a player what to do. You're not going to have that without Phil Jackson. Maybe Pat Riley could do that, but you're doing the whataboutisms, which we know you cannot do because you said we cannot do it.
Gotcha, bitch.
So with that being said, my boss just showed up, and he's going to talk about offensive strategy.
Here you come. Here come the cat.
I can do defense. I can talk. Lamont knows I can talk defense and team strategy. Yeah. That's my shit. But offense, you got me, Lamont. Go ahead. Tell us about offense.
Come the cat.
He said, "Come the cat." Come the cat.
No, I'm just thinking like the last thing I heard y'all talking about was if Jordan could win without Phil, because if you remove the Phil Jackson Tex winners, because if you remove Phil, that removes Tex winners, that removes the defensive mastermind, which is Phil, and that removes the offensive mastermind.
Hold on, wait. But let's be honest. Tex winners is in Chicago because of Jerry Krause, not because of anybody else. So Tex winners is there no matter who's the coach, whether it's Collins.
But I don't know if they.
But only Phil is going to say we're going to run the triangle. That I agree with you. But that
because remember Doug Collins, even though Tex was sitting there, he would never go run the triangle.
No, he wasn't.
Right?
He wasn't. No,
he wasn't. And so he was. So my thing is that's why I'm saying I don't know who you have as your stat. First of all, you lose probably one of the best defensive coaches in NBA history. That means, and then offensively without the triangle, how do you now optimize Scottie Pippen? Is he just that 7-point, 10-point per game type of player that we saw in that year with Doug Collins? Or is he the 20-point per game Scottie Pippen that we saw be elite? See, so without Phil, we don't see. How do we know we get the same Horace Grant? Because Phil unlocked a lot of that with the triangle, and so and offensively and defensively, he allowed those guys to shine. So I don't know if we see that. So I think without Phil, you're looking at a very probably star-studded, like stat full, accolade full career. But I don't know, because you also got to think if Phil's not in Chicago. You think he's just going to sit by the wayside and not go coach? What if he goes to coach Seattle? Or what if he says, fuck it, I'm going to go coach somewhere else in the NBA, and he takes his talents to another team? So now instead of coach playing with Phil, you got to now go up against a Phil Jackson-led team. So now you got to look at that dynamic as well, And so that also changes the whole dynamic of what things look like in the NBA as well. Because Phil ain't just going to sit by the wayside and just, I can't coach the Bulls, so I'm just going to go off into the sunset and never coach again. I think that's where the Bulls get in trouble. But Phil definitely saved Jordan's career. Or his legacy. He saved his legacy, not his career.
All right, next is to Lamont. Do you agree with me, though, that Phil was the only – let's just say Phil was smart enough to realize that the triangle offense worked with Jordan. If he didn't have Jordan, he probably wouldn't have ran the triangle?
I agree. It don't work with – remember what at least this is my opinion, and a lot of people don't agree with it. I feel like in a shot, the triangle in its essence is meant for high school basketball without a shot clock. That's what it's truly. It's really not truly designed for a shot clock game. But they rewired it because
they tailor-made it for the era.
Tailor-made it because just as Tex Winners said, we have to trick Jordan into playing team basketball. Tex Winners knew that the ball reversals increase your chance to score. How do we get Jordan to move this ball around so the other players can get confidence, feel like they imparted the offense? And they convinced them to run and really it's not a very I know there's a lot of variations of the triangle, But it's really not a
Golden
very
State
complex
run.
offense. It's a high school level offense. Like, if I'm being
And,
honest,
and it's basic rudimentary, a rudimentary fundamental
it was meant
aspect.
for
It's
a
high school.
non-shot
It
clock
is.
game because
It's
it
a
calls for a
college.
lot of
It's a
passes.
college offense. It's a college offense. Back then, when Phil wanted to run it, that was one of the reasons why people told him, like, you trying to run this high school or this old school, it's not going to work. Players didn't really like it that much in the Bulls system, as far as like guys who wanted to have shots because they realized, I got to do more than just shoot, right? If I'm Craig Hodges now, I'm going to get my shot, but I still got to move the ball a little bit. So it was a confusing offense. It's not a simple offense. So a lot of players can't really grasp it. Really, it takes the whole team to get along with it. Once
It's
everybody
extra
gets
passing.
into it.
That's because it's built
Yeah,
around always getting the ball back to Jordan or Pippen. Like, and that's what made it confusing because nobody truly had the freedom to just, like, for example, just go one-on-one at the end of the shot clock. Like you rarely ever saw like a BJ Armstrong or a Tony Kukoc, or even the guys that had it in their bag, like some of the guys off the bench, like Randy Brown, who had a little shake in their bag. You never really saw these guys really kind of do their own thing, even late in the shot clock, because the purpose of the triangle was just we got to get this ball back to Mike or Pippen.
I mean,
that's why they was always the two top scorers.
But it worked with the big man setting too, though. You could run a lot of different stuff out of the triangle. They surrounded the triangle, evolving around Shaq as the main focus, though, because you could do a lot of high lows in this situation as well.
Well, that's because you just move him from the high post to the low post. It's the same thing. You just move.
That's the hybrid that Phil did was taking it from the low post, which is the original traditional triangle, which is basically going down to low post, to bringing it up higher or bringing around that bull logo, or like they would say, or whatever, to help them understand that. And obviously the triangle is still the same thing. It's still the triangle. It's still having the guy in the wing and the guy up top of the high of the key, causing that, and then that back action, like Lamont says, that weak action, which forces the big man. You're always going to have a triangle on the floor, and it's always players moving this and the ball movement. And like he said, it helps keep the defense even keel, because now they have to guard everything. It's not just, they just key in on Jordan, right? So even when Jordan's running around these screens, he may not be getting the ball. The ball still might be going to somebody else, and you still have to, account for that. So it changes with that. That's why they needed it. So again, I agree with you, Lamont. I thought it was a great system, but again, I just don't understand why this is the only basketball system that we know. I know we learned about the Princeton offense recently. At least I learned about the Princeton offense recently. I know about the Spo spread offense because I'm from Miami, but I don't know what the hell the Heat were running in 2006. I really don't know what offense Pat Riley has. I really.
Yeah. I mean, but see, it's a different age in basketball, because now they have a huge playbook, so they're running multiple systems at one time. They're running 5 out, they're running 4 out, 1 in, they're running horn sets. I mean, they got a ton of ATOs. They're going 1-4 flats. They're probably doing a lot of Spanish pick and rolls. Like today's, because you have more talent on the floor, you don't have to just stick to one rudimentary thing and just spam it all the time.
I got you. Let me answer Adrian right quick. Adrian, no, I don't think Jordan could exist with Drexler. Jordan did not exist well with high volume shooters. He just doesn't. That's another reason why they talk about this mentality, Lamont, about Kobe, the mentality, and not having the mentality, or T-Mac not having the mentality. There's not too many players that would have the mentality of Scottie Pippen to do what Scottie Pippen did, to be Michael Jordan's sidekick. It takes a very special player to do that. It takes a very special player to understand that there's more to the game than just scoring and affecting the game and scoring. That way, I don't have to be a scorer. There's some players that don't think that if they're not scoring, they're not doing anything. There's just players out there that do that. There's players out there who think that if I'm not putting up 20 points per game, I'm not really effective.
And part of that is psychology as well. Because I agree.
You gotta give Scottie Pippen his props, and you gotta give Scottie Pippen his props. I can still impact the game without being a 20-point per game scorer, or 25-point per game scorer.
Go ahead, if you paid attention to the 06 Heat, Pat Riley had used Shaq and Wade as well, and he used triangle principles as well with the Heat, especially revolving around Shaq. And he did a lot of high pick and rolls with D Wade. That was their main offense, really. So Pat Riley took parts of that triangle to make sure that it benefited for Shaq, and they did a lot of high pick and rolls with Wade and Haslam and stuff like that. So that's what they primarily did. So Pat Riley, understood what he had to do to make those adjustments with Shaq and make it easier for Shaq and with the personnel that he had with the Heat. So he still used he basically used the triangle as well. He isolated it a little bit more, but he did the
I
triangle.
think you
And it
also
makes
lose
sense seeing that
I don't
Shaq
remember them
was
doing no
successful in
triangle.
that.
Not in
They
06.
did. They did. They did.
Ain't no way in hell.
You think him and Phil wasn't comparing notes?
Well, you could pull that
Of
film
course
up
they
right
were
now. I'm
not
almost
comparing
positive.
notes. Why would they be comparing notes? Phil Jackson
They
ain't calling no
coaching
Pat
against
Riley,
each
man.
other. Well, come on.
They're not comparing no notes. I think that they might have ran some sets that they saw was successful for Shaq to get the ball very close to the rim that they
That's what I
wanted with the
mean.
Lakers. But I don't know if they ran the quote unquote triangle, because again, the triangle offense, it's a system. It's just like it's a philosophy. It's a philosophy, and Pat Riley has that dead ball philosophy. There's not a lot of ball movement in Pat Riley's offense. I'm sorry.
They
I'm just
ran
being
too
honest.
much pick and roll in 06 to be in the triangle.
Yeah, that's
It
what
was
I'm
just
saying.
too much pick
Yeah.
and roll.
That's what I'm saying about Pat. I can be honest. Pat Riley offense is dead ball movement. It ain't too much ball movement. It's throw low post, like you said, pick and roll. Like you said, little stagger screens on the backside to get a 3-man open, but nothing really where the ball has to move like the
See?
triangle offense.
And
Nothing like
this
that.
takes me back to what me and Lamar was talking about last night, because remember, Thibodeau is a Riley disciple. Thibodeau was on Riley's bench, right? So a lot of that, and that's the problem.
He is. I didn't know
It's a
that.
little bit.
I thought he was. Hold on, wait. I thought
Yeah,
Thibodeau.
he sat there with Van Gundy. Thibodeau got his first assistant coaching job with the Knicks in the 90s. So again, they kind of all Stan Van Gundy, Jeff Van Gundy, all of them.
I thought he was coaching in Boston. Wasn't he with
No, he was. He got his first, but his first coaching job in the league was assistant with the Knicks. He was there with Van Gundy in them. I believe that. Yeah.
I'm
Hold
not
on.
gonna go.
I'm gonna double check, because I know Thibodeau coached in the 90s with the Knicks.
The Van Gundys, Keith Askins, Spoelstra, McAdoo. These guys were all on the Heat.
Okay. He was an assistant in 6.
I maybe in New York. You're a New York fan. I don't know. Maybe you might. Maybe when he was in New York,
he came in 96. All right. So indirectly, indirectly, because he came there with Van Gundy. So Van Gundy was a Riley disciple.
Yeah,
so obviously Van Gundy got his game from Riley. So then he's getting his game from Van Gundy.
Defensive philosophy. Though. We all know. Yeah,
yeah.
These guys are defensive coaches. We all know that they have a strong defensive stance and philosophy. So,
yeah,
but again, at the end of the day, you don't even know what these guys
practices.
You don't even know what the Knicks. You don't know what Thibodeau's offense is right now. What Thibodeau offense is what they running? They definitely not running what they were running with the Heat and the Knicks in the 90s. Tell you that much.
I tell you, it's not enough ball movement for me. That's what me and Lamar was talking about. I need it's a lot of dead ball movement. It reminds me of the 90s, and that's why I want a newer coach. So y'all to think I glazed the 90s so much.
Let me get a Zesty Jeffrey who's new to the building. MJ would have turned any sidekick into a 20 player. He didn't do that with Quentin Daly. He didn't do that with this stream is boring as fuck.
Brad Sellers.
Go find us. Bro, stop it, man. They're only bums because Jordan don't make nobody good.
Oh, you gotta stop it, man.
That's it. Don't tell me Jordan made Scottie Pippen good and he didn't make nobody else good.
Which one of the Wizards did he make good?
He didn't make nobody good.
Oh God, man! Now we doing Wizard stuff.
Well,
now we're going to take away Scottie Pippen's credit. No. Now we're going to take away Scottie Pippen's credit because
I was turning up earlier, but you put me backstage, nigga.
I didn't put you backstage. I told you let me speak. You don't let me speak. I let you speak.
Nigga,
you joined the damn show to a damn
You cut me off every goddamn time. I about to say something.
Niggas be lying.
Oh my God,
I'm not lying. You cut me off for the most part every time.
Niggas
I was gonna turn up because how y'all try to elevate T-Mac. The nigga couldn't get out the first round. You can't compare the
He didn't have Shaq. He didn't have Shaq. Nobody wants to hear what you think he can't do when he don't have Shaq. If he has Shaq, he can.
Professor Talent get out the first goddamn round.
He never had Shaq.
Couldn't get out the first goddamn round.
Had
T-Mac shit water. T-Mac shit water.
You can't
Chris Hamilton better than
Look, you just want to get mad at
Chris
T-Mac.
Hamilton better than that nigga.
Go ahead.
See that?
I can go there.
Go ahead. Get mad at
T-Mac, nigga. End of the day, you can't make no fucking excuses with a superstar not getting at the first goddamn round, nigga. Niggas like Rip Hamilton didn't have the elite talent. He got out the first goddamn round.
Now we got to say T-Mac guard.
With no elite talent, got out the first goddamn round. Ben Gordon even got out the first damn round. Isaiah the small. Isaiah Thomas and Boston got out the first goddamn round being the goddamn man. Then you had niggas like goddamn Jerry Michael Finley got out the first goddamn round being the fucking man. So end of the goddamn day, y'all can make these excuses about T-Mac. T-Mac ain't shit. He had ample opportunities to get out the goddamn first round. He ain't get it done. Nigga choked in those fourth quarters against Dallas. Nigga choked in those fourth quarters against Detroit Pistons. Fuck T-Mac and fuck the comparison, because it ain't no goddamn comparison. Nigga didn't play defense. Ron Artest called his ass out that it starts with T-Mac, and his ass never started it because his ass ain't had the heart to do it. The nigga ain't got the intangibles to do it. Hey, Lamar, you a goddamn coach. And for you to ignore intangibles about players, nigga, and not include intangibles when we do these comparisons, it's a motherfucking shame, because T-Mac would never win 3 straight rings, because he would never hold Shaq accountable for coming out of shape. He would never hold Shaq accountable for the bullshit that he was doing with the Lakers. When Shaq said, I didn't have to get in shape because I had the best player in the world, Kobe Bryant, so I could get in shape during the season. I never worked out in the off season. I did what I wanted. T-Mac went out and held that nigga accountable. T-Mac went out and got in his goddamn face, so that shit went out of work. Would he would have got 1 ring? Yeah, just probably 1. But at the end of the day, T-Mac ain't had the mentality to get in the nigga shit like D. Fish and Kobe Bryant did with the Lakers being the leaders. Playing with that same intensity, holding their goddamn teammates accountable. That shit matters, Lamar. For you to be a coach, you know talent don't always win, nigga. You can have mediocre talent and win, nigga. We've seen it numerous times in history of basketball, nigga. So don't act like it can't happen, nigga. Don't act like that shit can't happen. And for you to ignore that, Lamar, I'm disappointed in the coaching you, because you teaching your players the wrong goddamn thing. Oh man, I'm worried about the skill more than just togetherness, more than just the intangibles for us hustling, diving for balls. All that shit can win you games. And y'all niggas ignore and turn that fucking bullshit music off. I don't want to hear that shit when I'm talking. I want to do y'all bums like that when it comes to talking. But at the end of the day, T-Mac, nigga, you did that shit to yourself. We seen other players with no talent at least got out the first round. Why the fuck you couldn't do it, nigga? Because you ain't got it in you to be the man, nigga. Your cousin did it. He ain't even worked that hard, but your cousin got out the first round. Vince Carter did it. Hell, Joe Johnson. I got Joe Johnson over you. He got out the first round. I choose Joe Johnson over you, goddammit. Paul Pierce better than you. Before he got KG, at least he made it out the first round. Glenn Big Dog Robinson made it out the first round. Glenn Rice made it out the first round being the man. Tim Hardaway made it out the first round. Man, hey, Sharif Abdul-Rauf, a.k.a. Chris Jackson, as an eighth seed, made it out the first round, beating the 64-win Supersonics. But you sitting right here bitching because you didn't have Shaq. Nigga, you had ample opportunity to do it, and you couldn't do it. At least if you would have got out the first round, we could have made the argument better for you. Hey, Johnny and Lamar would look like geniuses if you actually got out the first round, because we could have said, yeah, you ain't had the talent. But we can't ignore what you did, T-Mac. Those fourth quarters, we can't forget about them, T-Mac. And Gilbert Arenas, even at your peak, nigga, you wasn't even top 5 at your position, nigga, even at your peak for 03 to 07, nigga. You weren't better than Baron Davis. You weren't better than Tony Parker. You weren't better than Chauncey Big Shot Billups. You weren't better than Steve Nash or Jason Kidd, nigga. Even Chris Paul came into the NBA better than you, nigga.
Don't forget Starberry.
Hey, I didn't even have to go to Starberry. I was going to get there. Starberry better than you, nigga. Starberry had clutch moments in the playoffs. It looked like LeBron whispered something in your ear. It looked like he licked on your ear and told you you was going to miss the free throws, and you missed the bum. You ain't get it done either because you a point blank loser. You just bring the loser talk to these YouTube streets, listening to Lamont capping ass and listening to Ajani. No chill, Gil. Shut your motherfucking ass up and act like you don't remember what happened. Derek Fisher, I got Derek Fisher over you, nigga. Nigga hit a game winner with 0.4 seconds. We know you can't do it. Yeah, nigga, I said it. I got D Fisher over you, nigga. I mean that for the bottom of my heart. Nigga, Mookie Blaylock at least got out the first round, Bum.
Ladies and gentlemen, Those were the words of Hollywood Herm as he's been trying to vent all week in any platform that allows him to. And he knows here at GOAT James Kingdom on a Friday night, I will allow him to go ahead and spill all of his pain, all of his sorrow, all of his anger, frustration at T-Mac and Gilbert Arenas. How dare they mention Kobe Bryant's name in championships? You couldn't get out the first round, T-Mac. Why, T-Mac? You want to play with Shaq? How dare you? Don't ever mention Kobe Bryant's name again. Hollywood Herm is no longer playing around with you guys. You're going to respect Hollywood Herm's stance on this situation, ladies and gentlemen. We must know that it's all about Kobe Bryant.
And by the way, man, Shaq is the reason why the 3P ended, nigga. 2003, the bomb choke, got killed by Tim Duncan the whole series, came in hurt and out of shape. Nigga, he ended the 3P, but you got niggas like Lamont, he'll skip the 04 and forget about what happened to 03 when Tim Duncan outplayed Shaq the whole damn
He ain't
series.
lying.
Yeah, niggas don't like
Just
to talk
think,
about
come
03.
back, just think, please. But Herm finished off. He's done. He said Herm got his soliloquy in, and we gave him his opportunity. Thank you, Herm, for that one. I appreciate that, Herm. Herm really had to let y'all know T-Mac is a loser. And ring culture exists because people like T-Mac can never be considered great because they never were on a championship team. He should have won a championship in 2013. He could have won a championship in 2013, but if it wasn't for LeBron's great performance, he might have not been considered a loser, and we wouldn't be talking about his first-round losses, or if he had Shaq, as he's been crying here for so long. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a stream. This is great. This is hilarious. What's up, Juan?
Hey, John, you know why he snapped on T-Mac, right? Because we
Why?
said that he's more talented than Penny Hardaway.
No, you know why? I think
He ain't
Lamont
more
touched
talented
it.
than Penny Hardaway.
No, Lamont touched on it. Lamont touched on it. Lamont touched on it.
Penny
Lamont
Hardaway
touched on it. These guys should not praise LeBron. The fact that we've had T-Mac praise LeBron, we had Gilbert Arenas praise LeBron, they should not be praising LeBron. The fact that they're praising LeBron. Yeah, no, it does, because I don't
give a damn what they say about LeBron.
You do.
So
we got footage of you.
So Herm, why from 2000 to 2004, the Lakers with Shaq and without Kobe were 31-10 and 23-25 with Kobe without Shaq?
You like to bring that type of shit up. If that the case, then I'm hit you with a counter. I'm hit you with a counter because that easy to counter.
Or just answer the question.
That easy to counter right there. That easy to counter right there. My Grizzlies one year was 17-2 without Ja Morant. So I can say that my Grizzlies a better team without Ja Morant because we was 17-2 without Ja Morant.
Yeah,
that
that's
don't
what it
mean
sounds
shit,
like.
bro. That don't mean shit because
were they under 500 with him?
Ja Morant.
Were they under 500 with him?
That talking point, I don't want to. That's irrelevant, bro. Come up with something else.
No, it's not.
Come up with yes, it is. Cause my Grizzlies was 17-2 without Ja Morant before. I knew we wasn't a better team without Ja Morant. I knew we wasn't a better team without Ja Morant, nigga. What you talking about? I know we better. That's a dumbass point. That's casual talk, Juan, boy. Man, come up with something else, man.
No,
come up with something else. You've been saying that for the last 4 days, man. Come up with something new, man. I've been seeing you comments.
He got you.
Oh, man, here goes the record, man, right here. But how come Shaq? Hey, you want?
No, wait, hold on, Herm. No, Herm, you're not going to do this because we let you speak. See what I'm saying, Herm? You get very disruptive. You get very disrespectful.
No, I answered your question.
No, okay, so that's it. You answered. Why are you stopping? Again, let me ask you this.
Hey, I'm gonna ask you something. One boy can ask me a question, so I'm gonna ask him a question then. One boy, how come Shaquille O'Neal didn't win the championship till he paired with Kobe Bryant? Answer that question. I answered yours. Answer mine.
Well, because Phil Jackson went over to LA. I'm telling you. Because Phil Jackson went over to LA, and when he got there, he told Kobe, "Listen, I'm gonna tell you."
Yeah.
When he got his first year in LA, Phil told Kobe, "If you trying all that other shit, you could pack your shit and you could get traded." He ain't go over there for Kobe.
You want to use the coach as your talking point, huh? He's the most dumb.
Wait, no, see that, Herm. You can't do that, Herm. We talk basketball here, Herm.
I'm talking facts.
You asked the man a question. Now you laughing at him when you brought up some bullshit in your soliloquy. You're bullshit. They complete bullshit. What was the Memphis Grizzlies record with Ja Morant? Was it under 500 with Ja Morant on the court? Like it was with Kobe when they had Shaq? Because when they didn't have Shaq, he was under 500. So answer that. Was Ja Morant under 500 when he was like Kobe was? Was he? Of course not. You can't answer.
One more. Kobe is 5 and 15. Kobe is 5 and 15 without Phil Jackson as his coach in the playoffs.
Come on, like y'all. This is this is why you guys do not have no content of your own, Herm. Because you really can't hold the show. Your whole predicate is to go on other people's shows to be disruptive. I don't get why you want to do that. The man asks you, why did the Lakers, right? Why did the Lakers have a losing record with Kobe Bryant without Shaq, and they had a winning record without Kobe with Shaq? You brought up Ja Morant. You didn't answer the question. You asked the man, why did Shaq not win a championship until he got Kobe? He said, well, he had Kobe and they wouldn't win championships. When they got Phil, they started winning championships. So it is easy to say that, well, it wasn't because of Kobe, because Kobe was there in 99. They wouldn't win championships. Kobe was there in 98. They wouldn't win championships. Kobe was there in 97. They were not winning championships. Phil wasn't there in 97. Phil was not there in 98. Phil was not there in 99. Who shows up in 2000? Phil. Who has an MVP season? Shaq. Who rides the bench and is a sidekick? Kobe.
That's not fair. Kobe started in 2000. Don't change narratives.
Sidekick start. All sidekick start. I don't know. I nearnever heard of sidekick.
You said sidekick and ride the bench, and when you talk about Game 7, when Game 6, when he
started in 99. Kobe started in 99. He made all NBA team in 99. The Lakers lost.
Okay, cool. But you said he was riding the bench and when Phil got there.
He was riding the bench. No, he was riding the bench in 98. He was riding the bench in 97.
As a 19-year-old.
In 99, he was a starter. In 2000, they won a championship. Okay. The difference between 99 and 2000 was Phil Jackson.
Again, but they had a level of success. A certain level of success because of
Phil. That's what he said. The difference was Shaq having Phil.
Come on, pre-Phil.
Exactly.
They got out the first round.
Man, look,
that's why he said just said Phil. He just gave you the reason why.
Phil ain't coached the Detroit Pistons to anything. He coached the best players in the goddamn world. So it's almost like yin and the yang. Like, is he the greatest coach or were they the greatest players?
Greg Popovich a better coach.
So how come Dale Harris and Doug Collins couldn't win championships with him?
Mm-hmm. Kurt Rambis.
Again, but they had a certain level of success. See, again, I get that Phil.
Whoa, nice a certain level of success when you don't win.
Well, see, this is the rabbit hole y'all do when him without him. At the end of the day, when they was all together, when they all were together, they cooked like a motherfucker. At the end of the day.
Yes, of course, Phil Jack. Listen, of course, Shaq. I mean, of course, Phil was very fortunate to coach great players like Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant.
So again, he never had to take a team from the ground up.
But he wasn't the only one to coach these guys. He wasn't the only one to coach these guys. But for some reason, they were the only ones to win while he was their coach.
But again,
Shaq, who had to go get Pat Riley?
About guys that had a certain level of success, they didn't. I can agree that Phil could put a team over the top. Could Phil build a team from the ground? That's the question. Because Riley did that.
Coaches don't build teams from the ground. Pat Riley left the Knicks because they wouldn't let him build a team from the ground.
Okay, what was the Heat before Pat Riley? Hey, and Mr. Ajani, what were the Heat before Pat Riley?
They were making the playoffs.
Were they? In 95?
Yeah, they made the playoffs in 92.
They were the AC, right? They were actually contenders with Riley.
That was successful. That was 3 years from expansion in the playoffs,
again,
sir.
Okay, so the Knicks went from an AC to a contender with Riley.
Pat Riley wasn't the guy building the Knicks. That's why he left.
Okay, no. I'm telling you, as a coach, as a coach, he took him from an 8 seed to a contender almost right away.
He wasn't building the team. We're talking about building the team.
No, I get it. But we talking about coaching. I know building the team is different.
Phil Jackson took the Chicago Bulls, who were a 6 seed, to the number 1 seed or the 2 seed.
They weren't a 6 seed. They got to the conference finals, Ajani.
And as the 6 seed.
Okay, so they got to the conference finals. So you can't. One got to supersede the other, Ajani. Let's be real. So for the fact that they were 6 seed and got to the conference finals mean they did what, Ajani? Overachieved. You're gonna give Jordan some credit for something.
So why did Doug Collins get fired if he overachieved?
Again, we all know that they wanted the triangle offense. They convinced him that was the best. Phil put them over the top. But what I'm telling you is, it's not like he built. It's not like he took them from the ground and up.
They did it because the Bulls did underachieve. The Bulls went from winning 50-something games to losing less than 50 games the next year. They went to the playoffs and had the same results versus the same team. They got beat bad by the Detroit Pistons. They didn't make an advancement. It took Michael Jordan's brilliance to beat the Knicks and to beat the Cavaliers, which in reality, it took Michael Jordan that miracle shot at the end to beat the Cavaliers. They almost lost that series.
So the first season of the Phil, they got to the same level.
I got to correct you. Doug Collins at least did get the Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals of Phil.
I know that, but they were still the 6th seed. He was talking about taking players.
But one got a super seed, though. Because the Pacers got over to game 7 of the 4th seed. What does that mean that they, which one? Which level are they?
You could build off that though, and Phil
exactly.
Built off of it. And
that's what I'm saying. Like it's a difference between taking a green team that never got 2 rounds.
But the difference was
the same thing with the Lakers. What the Lakers were doing before Phil got there? Nothing.
They at least got around it. They had some. They had some experience.
A championship coach, and they couldn't even fucking make the playoffs.
They was first round exes though. The Lakers was first round exes, but just to be transparent, just to be honest about everything, bro. Like niggas pick and choose when to listen to these players. At the end of the day, Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant force at that time, said that he already knew that he didn't always have to be at his best because he knew he had the best player in the world in Kobe. For niggas to ignore that point just to fulfill what they want to push, that just piss poor because we pick and choose. I hear people all the time use player quotes. Shit, y'all were just riding the wave of what Ron Artest said in the interview with Gil and them, and when they was arguing.
Fact check. Nobody said nothing about none of that shit. At the end of the day, what Ron Artest and Gilbert Arenas them all said was at that time, Tracy McGrady and Kobe were identical. And they were. There were people who were saying Tracy McGrady was better. So in 2003, 2002, 2004, Tracy McGrady was identical to Kobe. And if Shaq had him, he would say the same thing. That's just the facts. Because there was nothing Kobe was doing that Tracy McGrady was not doing.
That's a lie. Playing defense. He broke a record.
Tracy McGrady played defense.
Having the most steals in the postseason.
Tracy McGrady plays defense. He's not on a team that's going 20 playoff games to have the most steals in the postseason. Tracy McGrady averaged 1.5 steals per game. Kobe averaged 1.7. Kobe's not stealing the ball more than Tracy McGrady is in any capacity to say he's just playing better. He blocks more shots than Kobe does. He contests shots more than Kobe does. He's taller, he's longer, quicker, more athletic. He can play defense. Tracy McGrady can play defense. There's nobody in the Western Conference in the 2000s, 2001, 2002 that's going to put any fear in anybody to say, oh my God, Tracy McGrady's getting cooked. Nobody at all.
That's why I be trying to stay away from these conversations, because when you talk about the teams that Kobe and them played between the time, we get names like Steve Smith, Antonio Daniels, and Doug Christie.
Why are you laughing, though, Juan boy?
Hold on. Are any of those guys elite threats on offense for y'all to say he would not be able to stop them the same way Kobe Bryant did?
I mean,
no.
Okay. Could he stop Scottie if he needed to?
Why not? Scottie.
Oh, okay. So Scottie won that great then.
He was taking it to Kobe.
First of all, Scottie was cooking Kobe.
He was cooking him.
Okay.
That's just facts.
T-Mac is tall. Like you just said, he's taller. He's bigger. He's quicker. He's more athletic.
And I'm still gonna say Kobe's the better defender, but it doesn't matter. It's not like T-Mac doesn't play defense or can't play defense. That's the point. He doesn't have to be an all-defensive player to be a guy who can play defense. There's plenty of players who play in today's NBA that are not all-defensive players. There's only 10 guys who make it. So for you to say only 10 guys play defense means you don't know basketball.
I don't make that argument.
The Lakers are winning championship because of Kobe's defense. Never heard that. Kobe's 30? Yeah. Kobe's fourth quarter scoring? Yeah. That's basketball. All that other shit is lies from Zesty Jeffries. They're easy to get exposed Friday night. Easily.
Exposed by the exposer.
That's all I do is expose people on a Friday night.
And I'm gonna throw another fact check in there. If Del Harris had the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals in '98, I know y'all say Kobe didn't start, but Kobe did contribute a lot to that team. Remember, he's only 19 years old.
He's not good enough. The Lakers are not good enough. The offense that they're running is not good enough. Shaq is not good enough. The 98 Shaq is not the 99 Shaq. Y'all got to remember when Phil Jackson gets hired as the coach, he gives all coaches got a game plan for all their players.
You're right.
I'm not done, bro. I'm not fucking done.
I'm agreeing.
Okay, so don't say nothing then. Let me talk. Let me drop knowledge because there's people here who here to listen to me say this shit.
Cool.
So again, when Phil Jackson is challenging Shaq, y'all talking about Kobe out here putting Shaq to the fire and accountability. There was no fucking accountability. Shaq was not paying Kobe any mind, so he punched Kobe in the shit. Nobody listening to your punk ass. You're 20. Don't fucking come tell me shit. But if Phil says, hey, get in the gym. Phil says you need to be doing it. Shaq did that. That's why Shaq had the 2000 season that he had. And he already knew from there, I can turn it on whenever I wanted to because there's no stopping me because Phil gave him that. Phil showed him how to be that and how to get to that point. So that's why he told Kobe, you can do all this, but Kobe didn't want to give that up. Kobe still wanted to be the man because like Lamont showed y'all on his live, y'all spent years discrediting a man who's a champion. Who did exactly what he said to do, play his role to be a champion. But he wasn't good enough. He still wasn't good enough. He could never be Mike because you bitch ass niggas like to sit here and tell us Mike won championships by himself. That's a lie.
Oh boy.
Let me bring somebody new up in here, man. Let me bring somebody new up in here because I can't have y'all up here saying the same lies and me keep exposing the same fucking bullshit. It's okay to say Kobe was great. And it's okay to say T-Mac was just as great at that time. But we all know what separates Kobe from T-Mac is Kobe's longevity. Eventually, Kobe showed y'all he is the greatest of the greatest. T-Mac didn't. And the funny thing is that if T-Mac has those 3 fucking championships with LA instead of Kobe, what y'all going to call him, a loser then? And he can have the same fucking horrible career that he had after 2005. But he has 3 championships. You still going to call him a loser then? With the same resume. Still going to call him a loser then? That's what he's talking about, ring culture. That's just bullshit. Everybody
Nothing good comes after the word.
Your career does not change because you have a fucking ring on it. Your resume is what it is. The rings is a part of it, but it doesn't change shit. Just because you have a fucking ring don't make you better than anybody else. You were just on a championship team. That's it. What does your resume say? What do your stats say? What do your accolades say? That tells us more than anything. I can show you a bunch of players with championships that never accomplished shit, but I can show you a bunch of players that accomplish a lot but don't have a championship. And that's just the facts. So let me let my man Brent in here. Thank you for joining me. This is the Friday Night Exposure.
What's up?
I'm here to have some fun. What do you have for me?
Hey, I just wanted to come in here. I was listening to you earlier, just about the Scottie Pippen and Dwyane Wade situation. I wanted to comment on those 2 players, Scottie and D Wade Flash and the T-Mac and Kobe. But I wanted to jump in and say, just keep it short because you're running the show. I wanted to say, they're both champions in their right with D Wade and, Scottie Pippen. But I wanted to say that, when we talk about what you just said a few seconds ago about how we're always, saying, hey, Jordan's greatness, but we don't ever include Scottie. Like, Scottie was that guy. He was, sticking the players, while Jordan was putting up the points, Scottie was doing it at both ends, scoring, coming down, hitting threes at the top of the key, defending, rebounding, whatever the team needed him to do, he was the Swiss Army knife. He was Kawhi Leonard before Kawhi Leonard was actually in the league, and because Kawhi Leonard was a defender. He came in as a league as a defender, Kawhi, and so when I look at Scottie, I see Scottie, Kawhi Leonard in the same instance. I felt like people was just Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, but they left Scottie out. And I think that's why they had a falling out, him and Scottie. Of course, there's other stuff, that's going on with Jordan and Scottie. But Scottie's greatness succeeds, like he's great within himself. Scottie's great within himself. And D Wade, I feel like D Wade, he had that one finals, I think in '06, where he was just, crazy. Like he is, the way he was playing was awesome. But I just feel like Scottie, you can't compare D Wade to Scottie because I felt like Scottie, he's just one of those players like throughout history is that, the class that you put up. I commented that was ridiculous. That 90s class, that the stats and what they've accomplished on there, the defensive, the all-time accolades, not championships. Notice you didn't, you of course, Scottie won those 6, but it was what you put on there about the 8-time. Yeah, right there. I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't see D Wade. I don't see D Wade up there. And even though that's in the 90s, he still doesn't have those accolades. And when a player, yeah, and that is the dedication to the game. That is that's his craft. You know what I'm saying? The hard work and players. Some players they reach a certain level. It's not about championships because we're not talking about. I'm not talking about how many championships D Wade had. I know how many he had. I'm talking about just consistency of how
He ain't got
Scottie
6.
plays.
He just ain't. He ain't got 6. No matter what they say, he ain't got 6. Scottie got 6.
Right. So I'm not talking about championships, but that's how I felt about that situation. And on the Kobe and Tracy, we Kobe commented and said that T Mac was the toughest player he had ever had to guard. He said he said T Mac was because he was 6'9". He could shoot over T Mac. And he said when T Mac, he said but he was 6'10", making him a challenge
You mean T-Mac
for
could
him
shoot
to
over
defend.
him?
He said making him 6'10", making him a challenge to defend. This is what Kobe said.
Facts. Yeah.
Brian acknowledged the scoring ability from anywhere. He could score anywhere on the court. His post play, perimeter game play, facilitating skills, and defensive capabilities. This is Kobe Bryant saying this. This is what Kobe Bryant said about T-Mac. He said his defensive capabilities, his size and athleticism. Bryant emphasized McGrady's 6'10" and athleticism as key factors, made him hard and a difficult opponent.
Kobe said it sitting right next to T-Mac. Why do you keep talking about this, man? He said all of this sitting right next to T-Mac. He was me, just taller.
Again. Listen, Brent. I appreciate you for saying all of that, man. Like I said, it's not a discredit to Kobe because Kobe still produced what he did. That's what people don't understand. If Kobe had 15 points, he's still this 3-time champion, but we're not talking about him the same way. It's the fact that he produced the way he produced. There was only a few players at that time that could do what he did, but the fact of the matter is the player who said this is one of those players, and that's what they get mad at.
Yeah,
and they, you know what I'm saying? Like they can't. Like this is not. Like I said, this is not Stephon Marbury talking, right? This is not Jason Terry talking. You know what I'm saying? This is
Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, come on, man. This is real. This is a dude. Like I said,
not a team player.
Like you said, his size alone made him such a special freak. He was and mind you, this is a player that Jerry Krause was ready to get rid of Scottie Pippen for. He was ready to trade Scottie Pippen so he can draft Tracy McGrady and Ron Mercer and add him to Michael Jordan. So but Jordan put the nip in the button that he was like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. And the trade didn't go.
And I wanted to say something also before I log out. We got to remember that Kobe's career, he played, and I'm going to throw it out there. I mean, I'm going to get some hate, but Shaq was one of, I'll probably say, top 3 dominant players in the NBA history. Dominant. Like
he
they
was.
had Hackett.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing you can tell me that Tracy McGrady is lacking that will force the Lakers to lose 2 championships. They're winning those 3.
And I'm a Lakers
Tracy
fan, by the
McGrady.
way.
Yeah, all Tracy McGrady got to do is score. That's all he needs to do is be Shaq's sidekick. There's
And
no
you
way you
did
can
say
tell me
that.
he can't play Shaq's sidekick. Y'all don't
And he
know him
did-
playing a sidekick. Y'all don't know him being a sidekick. So
And he
don't
did
do
say
that.
that on the show. He said, if you put me in
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant's situation, what make you think I couldn't do what he did? He said he
Exactly.
played with Shaq. Shaq was dominant. Who they fouled? They hack a shot. They changed rules. They used to stop him half court and foul this man because they knew he couldn't shoot shots.
Wait a minute. How did Shaquille O'Neal, who was on the down end of his prime, win a championship with a third-year player, Dwyane Wade, but couldn't win one with T-Mac or 2-3 with T-Mac in his prime? That's what I'm saying. Kobe didn't get his 4th before Shaq got his 4th. Shaq ended up leaving the Lakers and within 2 years winning a championship. Kobe was not in the playoffs the next season. Get knocked out of the first round until he got an All-NBA first-team player on All-NBA player on his team.
Facts.
Kobe never got out of the first round without Paul Gasol, who's rookie of the year, who's making all-star teams, who's underrated in Memphis because nobody's paying attention to him, but he's averaging 20 and 10.
Until they got Bynum. Remember they got Bynum and had 2 7-footers.
Yeah, exactly. And Bynum was somebody they got because Kobe was horrible. The Lakers got a good lottery pick because Kobe sucked.
That is facts. I'm a Laker fan. Bynum was dominant, and Bynum was playing against Shaq in that game, that season game. He went against Shaq. Y'all, go ahead.
No, I remember that. I remember that. Bynum was supposed to be the next thing, and his injuries messed with him. Bynum was all NBA. Listen, Bynum was all NBA in 2011 or 22. I'm sorry, 2012.
Straight out of high school in New Jersey.
So they got to stop this with the Lakers. Imagine that Bynum made the All NBA. So imagine the Lakers get Paul Gasol in 08. He makes the All NBA team 09, 010, and 11, and then in 2012, Bynum makes the All NBA team. So Kobe had an All NBA teammate for 4 straight years. When did T-Mac ever have that? Not to mention, Lamar Odom was 6th man of the year in 2011.
Bynum won 2 championships with the Los Angeles Lakers too.
So y'all got to stop this again. And we're not going to the 2009, 2008, and all that stuff. We all know that time Tracy McGrady is not. We're talking about the Tracy McGrady that was balling in the early 2000s, not the late 2000s Tracy McGrady.
Right? Yeah, he was old by then.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not football season. Stop moving the goalposts.
Look, and let me tell y'all something before we get it, because I got to get up out of here because I'm hungry. I'm gonna give me something to eat. I'm gonna show y'all now. Y'all know I got a term called Zesty Jeffries. Right, and Zesty Jeffries, obviously, I've explained it countless times. But there's another term out here that we need to talk about, and it's called being a GJK City Girl groupie. A GJK City Girl groupie is Swish Life. Listen to his words. Let's pay attention. Sad niggas. But mind you, he could hit the link. Instead of coming on the link, what does he want to do? He wants to take a flight and see another man. Hey, Johnny, I'm going to be in Florida next week. Bring your old ass game to the court, indoor, outdoor. Get your ass cooked. These guys literally want to meet other men online.
Whoa. No, I'm telling you, pause.
Yo,
pause.
Whoa, go.
Pause.
What?
Pause.
Yo, come on.
Pause. Pause.
Everything was going smooth.
Hold up.
What is this? Yo,
So instead of hitting the link and having a conversation like a grown man is supposed to have a conversation, he wants to take a flight and see another man. Instead of, and mind you, you're coming to Miami, the city of BBLs, the city of Latinas. But instead, he has plans and setting arrangements up to hang out with Ajani on a game of basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what you call a GJK City Girl groupie. These are men who take flights to see other men. So now you have 2 basketball terms that you can use now. There's the GJK City Girl groupies, and there's the Zesty Jeffries.
Oh man!
And again, I do what I do best. He said, "You had what? You had one dude cooking me up. When you had Ro,
Yo, Philip Fry called you out, bro. So then next time you want to pull up, you know when I'm on."
He said
he want to talk to you.
So he wants to talk to me. When is he going to show up? Is it Thursday? Is it this Thursday?
Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, either way.
I'll be there Tuesday, sir.
You can call in like Lamar did last night.
I will. I will be there Tuesday. I will definitely do that. I will be there Tuesday.
Right.
Tell me.
Nah, because they think
Phillip.
they heard. I just wanted you to know, man. You got 15 dudes tearing me up in the comments, and I'm with it. Like
Hey,
I said,
listen,
I tell all of them, pull up.
listen. You have a better chance versus those 15 dudes than you do have me. So just be glad that you have to deal with those 15
See,
guys.
I told you, bro. Last time was nice. I ain't take the gloves off. Next time you pull up,
That's fine.
we
Take the gloves
right.
off. I'm supposed to be scared, and you act like you just said
Nah,
something.
it's not about being scared though.
Your shit is that bad, man. You got that much juice? Goddamn right. Don't nobody fuck with me.
Nobody.
Who the hell is this? I'm the type of nigga stand on business, nigga. One man arm against 50, nigga.
Manny, bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
It's 92.
Next thing I know, y'all gonna be out here looking for the MJ police to come get me, out here giving descriptions about who's out here destroying your life. It's called Ajani the Exposer on a Friday night.
Now, did you get a look at the man who assaulted you?
I did.
Okay, can I get a description?
Yeah, he was probably around 5'9", 5'10".
Now, how about identifying characteristics? Any marks, piercings?
He may have had a tattoo.
He may have had a tattoo? Did have a tattoo? Which one was it?
I don't know. It all happened so fast.
You know what? It's fine. I have a preliminary sketch here. Is this the man who assaulted you?
So, again, with that being said, I want to thank you fine gentlemen for sitting here with me, having a great Friday night exposure with me. You guys are always wonderful. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, don't be afraid to become a member of the GOAT James Kingdom platform. As you can see, I'm out here doing great work for the basketball fans and for just people who like to come on social media and YouTube and watch people talk basketball in an entertaining fashion. You see, I'm not just here just yelling and screaming. That's not what I do. But I want to thank you, Ro. I will be there Tuesday, okay, Ro? I'll see you Tuesday, Ro. I will see you Tuesday. All right. But before y'all get up out of here, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, next Friday, right? Next Friday will be the 4th of July. So you guys ain't gonna be doing nothing. You guys ain't got no job anyways. It's Friday. You ain't got a job and you ain't got shit to do. So next Friday for the 100th episode, we're going to be celebrating 100 episodes here in GOAT James Kingdom Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. And with that being said, we will have a contest for you guys to have the eligibility to win one of these fine posters here. You can get this LeBron poster, or you can get this Michael Jordan poster here, or you can get this Kobe Bryant poster here. This is a lovely poster for any one of you guys who are true fans of the game. And that's what's going to be available, but you have to be a GOAT James Kingdom member. Again, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do to become a member of our channel is go to our channel on YouTube, hit that join tab. You'll see all the different perks and all the different tiers, and each perk for each tiers. And again, you just got to become a member of the channel to be a participant of the show. If you want a poster, all you got to do is be a King's Guard member. You get access to a hat, a GJK hat, a GJK custom-made shirt, and a custom-made poster as well. Those are all the perks that goes along with being the King's Guard member of the GJK channel. That's what we're here to do, ladies and gentlemen. We were having fun talking about Scottie Pippen and why he was greater than Dwyane Wade. I broke down statistical why Scottie Pippen is just greater than Dwyane Wade in all facets of the game. There's so many things that Scottie Pippen does that Dwyane Wade just cannot do. We know Dwyane Wade's a great scorer. Dwyane Wade is great on the offensive side of the ball. He's a solid defender, but Scottie Pippen is obviously a great offensive player and a great defensive player, if not considered one of the greatest defensive players of all time. We discuss of why you guys be hating on him as a defensive player and how you try to take away his offensive ability because he's such a great defensive player. Well, amongst all of these great defensive players of all time, why is Scottie Pippen the only guy that's not considered a guy that can be relied on the offensive side or impactful on the offensive side, which all of these other guys are? So again, we broke down a lot of things about Scottie Pippen, including how many times he helped Michael Jordan in the playoffs with his scoring, his impact, his actual offense. You guys didn't hear it in the beginning of the show. I'll play it for you again.
Tone of this game could be set very early. Pippen to the hoop, gets the low intensity. If they relax, perhaps they can help them play a better game. Pippen makes it 8-6.
Scottie Pippen is shooting the ball so well.
There's the offense that Pippen has brought to this team. Outside, inside, slashing into the paint. Barkley controlled by Grant to Scottie Pippen against Mahorn. What a beautiful change of direction by Pippen. He got Barkley, he got Mahorn going left and then took it right down the lane. This Bulls team, as we mentioned in our open, has been barely champion versus Pippen. He'll go to the post. Look at that move. A little bit reminiscent, and I'm getting in high cotton here, of Dr. J. At range. Bulls by one. Pippen hasn't missed. He is 7 out of 7.
360, 180, whatever you want, he's giving to you tonight on the dome.
Cole got the offensive board, couldn't stick it back up. Purdue with a big jam for Pippen. Phil Jackson told me before the game, I asked him what he thought the biggest difference in this Bulls offense was this year compared to last year in the playoff, and he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard. Phil Jackson told me before the game, I asked him what he thought the biggest difference in this Bulls offense was this year compared to last year in the playoff, and he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard. And he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
And he said Pippen's ability to be a point guard.
Pippen James over a new goal. He is 8 out of 8, has 16 points and 4 assists.
Yeah, you could talk all that crap, Mr. Justin, but like I tell all you Zesty Jeffreys, you're safe in the comments. That's why you can say things like this. People listen to me because they know I drop facts. They know I drop real basketball information. They can come here and get entertained with real basketball content. Not like the other Zesty Jeffreys you like to watch. So if you are entertained by guys like the Hungry Man, Unsmart Hoops, Zesty Fitness and Rants, Michael Jordan fans are the worst page, Scap Attack, Kerosene for Life, Cricket TV, those are the platforms that you need to go to. GOAT James Kingdom is not the place for you at all. And Sir Andre, the name of this platform, again, ladies and gentlemen, is the GOAT James Kingdom platform. We are the GOAT James Kingdom basically, we are GOAT James Kingdom. Every Sunday noon Eastern time, my partner and I, we go live with the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and Ajani. I'm Ajani, the Exposer. That's what we do. That's what GOAT James Kingdom is for the Sunday afternoon show. So join the GOAT James Kingdom platform by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. Also, check us out on all other platforms. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord. We're all over the place. You can find us all over. And again, like I said, not only do we do the Friday night show like we do here on the Friday Night Exposure, but we do the Sunday shows. We have a Saturday show as well, where you can join us on Saturday with Brandon and T Perfect and King John speak about many different topics, including football, basketball, and everything else. If you guys want to talk to a Michael Jordan fan, then go check out Alan Powell's show, which is also on the GOAT James Kingdom show. On the GOAT James Kingdom channel every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. If you're from Chicago, this is a Chicago Bulls fan. This is a Michael Jordan fan, and he comes on our platform every week providing us great content, because that's what GOAT James Kingdom does. And like I told y'all, there's nothing like GOAT James Kingdom. None of y'all want this smoke with us. All y'all gonna do is sit there, talk nonsense in the comments, say all that Zesty Jeffrey stuff. We don't care about none of that. And at the end of the day, we're going to continue to do all the content that we have, continue to give you guys great content, because that's what we do. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on another great Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. Y'all have a great evening. Peace and blessings.
Hey, yo, Lester here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
If you're a basketball fan and you're tired of basketball shows that talk about fake narratives and using non-basketball terms like killer instinct, playoff translation, gravity, come to GOAT James Kingdom. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy B. Lee and Ajani talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing, and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.
LeBron James, all you gotta do is say his name. Trash. Trash. LeBron Ramon James Sr., born December 30th, 1984 at approximately 4:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the greatest human being blessed among us mere mortals? 4 rings, 4 MVPs, the league scoring record, and he got more records than MJ and Kobe combined. Loving husband and devoted father of 3. Don't you ever disrespect my basketball daddy, you understand me? You know what? Log off, uninstall the game, and tell your mama to ground you, because your mouth is reckless. Go disrespect LeBron James. Oh, I cannot believe you. I hope you break your ankles next pickup game, little nigga. Lakers in 5. Baby! He disrespect LeBron again.